Oh, 56 hard in the wall. Looks like we're gonna stay green. Oh,
they got a spin.
95 around, 33 hard into the inside wall.
Oh, they're wrecking up front. 93, Ricky Johnson's around, collects a 30, the 59, the 30, I already said the 30. Oh,
They're still wrecking.
Oh my god, the 22 of Jason San Diego, damn it. Oh my word.
Turn 3 and 4.
Side, they fly through turn 3 and 4.
That's 66 now. Oh, they're 3 wide.
Oh, Joe, who's
3.
Who's
I don't know.
leader?
They're 3 wide through the tri-oval. Kimmons have felled there at the yellow flag. For the lead, the 77 goes to the inside, doesn't have the run there, goes back outside, he's going to try to have the momentum through turns 3 and 4, peaks to the inside, it's going to be a drag race down the front straightaways, Callum around!
It's going to be at the line, it's so close, Murslack wins it!
Don't think, oh he got really close, he's going to look to the inside! Oh, they make contact! Oh my god! Joseph Weaver! Live from the Talladega Superspeedway in beautiful Talladega, Alabama, it's the United States Online Racing League Cup Series. Sponsored by Red Bull. I said that out of order. I'm a little flustered right now. We had some technical difficulties, but now we're moving. Hello, folks. As always, I'm Joe Twansky. Alongside me tonight, it's Mr. Worldwide, Mr. Amazing Pants, Mr. You saw him go 3 wide last night, Tommy Bordeaux.
Hey, Joe. Great to be back here. A little bit of a different seat for me tonight, but it's great to be back on JTN in the new year, 2021. Here we are. Of course, you've had broadcasts before this year, but this is the first time for me up in the booth, and it's going to be a great race in front of us to broadcast tonight.
I'm sure there's a lot of people probably hoping that it's a new year, new me here in the USORL, but Tommy, I think you owe the fans at home a little bit of an explanation for the lack of one of their favorite segments here tonight.
That's right, Joe. Well, you'll notice tonight we don't have any Tommy World segment, and I must apologize. We had a celebrity guest passenger with the Tommy's World car tonight. If you've been awake for the past 15 years, you might know his name, Mr. Kanye West. Unfortunately, going through a divorce with Kim Kardashian West, who I guess now, Joe, is going to be Kim Kardashian. And, well, I would say this is probably a first for the Tommy's World segment. We had to cancel our celebrity ride-along with Kanye West around Talladega. So rest assured, next broadcast here of the USORL Red Bull Cup Series, we will have a Tommy's World coming your way. And to note, Joe, the Tommy's World car does have the capability of holding a passenger now. And that extra seat's going to stay in there, so expect some extra special guests in the future.
Well, it's going to be a great time, and I've seen all those, requests and insurance policies that we have to get, but I'm hoping they pay off, Tommy. But one thing we have special tonight, it's the Dash for Cash. You see those drivers' numbers on your screen. We'll highlight them as Tommy goes through the starting lineup here in just a moment.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Those Dash for Cash drivers, they're racing for a pot of gold at the end of the race. You'll notice they stand out with gold banners and spoilers. So you're going to take a look at these guys here. You got, I believe that's 11, Joe. Correct me if I'm wrong, 11 different drivers.
Good quick maths.
Vying for a shot at their share of the pot.
I got it real quick. I see a question in chat from So Play Cool EAS. Or Ease. I said it both ways last night, and then he told me I said it right, so I don't know which way was right. But asks why everyone's crashing. It's happy hour. They're just having fun. And there you see, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of a server reset right now to get the right setup in. This, of course, is a unique experience for the USORL Cup Series. Super speedways are fixed setup. Everywhere else is open. But, Joe, that is going to give us one special feature for this race, and that's going to be just like restrictor plate racing in real life, or I suppose tapered spacer racing. We're going to have equal cars out there, so anybody has a shot at winning this race.
Anybody and everybody will have a shot tonight, Tommy. I was going to have you go through the starting lineup, but it seems like we're not going to have the opportunity to do that now. So, while we wait, I'll run you through those Dash for Cash drivers. Again, you'll see them at the top of your screen underneath our ticker. From left to right, the 1 Valvoline Chevy of Zach Krastowski, the 4 1-qubit Toyota of Steven Merzlak, the 11 car HP Omen Chevrolet of Antonio Ruiz, the 12 University of Louisville Ford Mustang for Cal Laval, the 13 Lego of my Ego, Tommy, 13 Mustang of Austin Spencer. Then you see the, oh gosh, this is why we have the sheets written out in front of us. Who's after Spencer in the list? That is the 16 of Garrett Sidner. Got it. So it's really small on my monitor right now. Then you have the 18 of Ray Tustin in the Remember Everyone Deployed Toyota Camry. The 23 it's the National Civil Rights Museum Toyota Camry of Darren Ingram. And you have the 49 3M Brands Toyota of John Peterson, the 51 Cheez-It Kellogg's Machine of Matthew Steelman, and the 66 Golden Corral Top 10 Kids Eat Free Ford Mustang for DJ Harris. Tommy, a great Dash for Cash lineup here at Talladega. We made a little update to our ticker. We made it quick because these guys are gonna be quick tonight.
These guys are going to be super fast. I'll tell you, one driver who was fast last night, but in all the wrong directions, was Cal Lovell. Tonight he's in the 12 machine. But last night, Joe, in the truck series, took quite this spill in the infield in the trial grass. I know you caught it on camera there. Fast flips, unfortunately, for Cal Lovell. Ended his night early there. Let's hope tonight he doesn't end up with the same fate.
Yeah, I think that's hopefully.
Drivers to your car.
Hopefully, drivers getting called again for qualifying. Tommy, have you ever had to qualify 3 different times?
I can't really say that I have, Joe. I've had different qualifying sessions, but for the same exact race, qualifying 3 different times, that's a new one for me.
Well, these boys at the USORL, they really like to make us fill some time. So again, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I see a lot of people in the chat. So thankful to see you there. Yeah, just share.
Playoffs.
Huh?
Playoffs. Well, Joe, football playoffs.
I mean, if you're finishing up watching those, I hope you're having a fun time watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Washington football team.
That's right.
And once you're done with that, if you're dual screening it right now, you can make us full screen because we're going to have a great race here at Talladega tonight.
Yeah, I would just like to give a quick shout out to the Buffalo Bills. They're my football team. 25 years, ladies and gentlemen. Did you realize that 25 years ago, I didn't even exist? I was probably a pile of dust somewhere waiting to get turned into nutrition for some plant or something, or cow to eat or something, and yada, yada, yada. But basically, folks, what this means is the Buffalo Bills are moving on to the next round of the playoffs. And Joe, I'm thrilled. I had to miss the game this week because, well, I was working. Hopefully next week I have Sunday off. Hopefully they play on Sunday. We'll see who they play, and I can go ahead and watch that game. But if you're a fan of the Colts, I'm sorry. That was awfully close. Man, I'll tell you what, how about the Rams beating the Seattle Seahawks?
That was unexpected, Tommy. That was definitely an unexpected thing. Almost like Trevor Bayne winning the Daytona 500 or David Reagan winning at this Talladega Superspeedway in a front row motorsports machine.
That's right, Joe, and maybe we'll get another unexpected winner here tonight. We've got a huge field of cars. Any one of them has a shot to win this thing. Whoever survives at the end, avoids the big one, and puts themselves in the right spot may just come away with not just the trophy, but if they're in the Dash for Cash, a cool cash prize.
Yes, out of those 11 drivers who we mentioned, you see them again at the top of your screen. That graphic will flash on and off throughout tonight's race. Whoever finishes the highest out of those 11 drivers will take home a cool $45. And then second place will receive $10, which was the buy-in for those 11 drivers, with the other half of the money going to the server to help pay for the server for this league. So a great way for the league to, get a month's worth of server payments through, if not more. I don't know. I don't ask. I don't know. And a great way to kind of give guys a little bit more incentive to drive crazy, even though I think they have plenty of incentive tonight, Tommy.
Yeah, well, one thing about driving crazy, Joe, is it could come back to bite you. I do know all about that, as last night was the case. But hey, I'll tell you what, though, Joe, it is a longer race here tonight, so there's plenty of time to be patient. And there's also a lot of room on this racetrack. Talladega being, I think it is officially the widest racetrack on the schedule. So for these drivers, plenty of room to move around and make moves, and expect to see 3 wide, especially late in the run. So long as everybody holds their line, we shouldn't see too many accidents, knocking, of course, on wood.
Back to the NFL playoffs. So Play Cool EAS writes in, I hope the Titans move on. Tommy, I know you have some strong opinions about those Tennessee Titans, that they're one of his favorite teams. And then Power Titan writes in, being a Bengals fan just sucks. Well, I'm a Lions fan, so I think I got a little bit worse. But
well, I'll tell you what, Joe. I picked up. I work at the old Bed Bath and Beyond over there, and somebody had returned from an online order two Lions glasses.
Oh, they didn't want to drink their sorrows away in those, did they?
No, apparently not. They were all great, in fine condition. Got them on a huge discount, and So for what that's worth, I don't know. But here we are.
You now own some Detroit Lions glasses? Is that what you're trying
Correct.
to say? Let's go. Hey, Larry. Good to see from you, too.
Speaking of going, Joe, we should be ready to rock and roll here shortly. Qualifying has been completed for the 3rd time. Jeff Dixon, once again, getting his pole position. We're going to use the first lap of the race to get everyone's starting positions in order how we qualified the first time. And then we'll take you through the starting lineup and the rest of the race after that.
Drivers, to your cars.
As cars take the track, Joe, a moment just to tell everybody what's at stake here. For 11 drivers tonight, a Dash for Cash prize at the end of this race. For the leader of the Dash for Cash, the highest finishing Dash for Cash driver, that is, $45 goes into their pocket. For second place in the Dash for Cash, a cool $10 to regain their buy-in fees. Now, I'll tell you what, Joe, $45 is a hefty sum of money. Could buy some good merchandise there on the JTN store.
Oh, yes, and you want to check out that JTN store. You'll hear more about it later on in the broadcast, maybe, possibly. We'll see. We'll see how many wrecks we have, Tommy. There's the command.
Your engines!
Woo! Command to start the engines finally here on this late night, Saturday night from Talladega. Again, 100 laps. That ticker, though, due to the way we kind of have all our graphics set up and now knowing we're probably racing to lap 101 instead of 100, it's going to say out of 100. Just do a little +1 in your head for us here at JTN. Give us a little bit of help. But, Tommy, Jeff Dixon starts on the pole. We know that. We'll see the rest of the lineup here after they cross the line. But why don't you talk about that company on the hood of that number 15 Chevrolet?
Yeah, that's right, Joe. That's TWB, and you may see a really cool kind of theme right there. You may say to yourself, hey, looks an awful lot like Michael Waltrip's Napa Chevy from back in the day. That's right. TWB has bought out Napa Auto Parts. We now own the logo.
Incorrect. I want to make sure we're not making any false claims here on JTN.
Perhaps, Joe, maybe that's not the case. But hey, TWB, on behalf of TWB, we'd like to brought to you by GardenLightsDirect.com. Porches, patios, and more. Check out GardenLightsDirect.com for all of your outdoor lighting needs. TWB, together we're better. And together here, it's nice to have you back watching the JoeTowNetwork, our first Red Bull Cup Series race of 2021. Just one lap away.
One lap away. Again, Another interesting part of the Red Bull Cup Series, it's manual cautions. So you won't see a pace car tonight when these guys are pacing. They kind of do it themselves. It's, you know, you got to be courteous to everyone else. And everyone's kind of got that understanding. So we'll go into the restart zone. The leader will have control of said restart. So that what they do is they type it in the chat when they're going green. But we just hope that they go in the restart zone, don't we, Tommy?
I sure hope so, Joe. Well, I hope they do go. We've seen before, like on the lights race on Monday, Joe, I was part of that race, and there was actually a bit of wheel spin for a couple of these drivers getting up to speed again. So it could be a danger zone on old tires, but we'll see how the caution strategy plays out and whether or not we have any gamblers late in the race.
You see the field making its way up. Tommy, I don't know, do you want to take us through the top 10 at least? Because I don't think we're going to have enough time because it looks like they're still sorting stuff at the back.
Sure thing, Joe. Well, your pole sitter, of course, is Jeff Dixon up in the 15 car. Now, right by him to his outside, that's going to be the 96 of Richard Pleasant. You don't see him starting up front too often, but of course, Restrictor Plate Racing should be pretty exciting to see his march up at the front. He's already at the front, doesn't have to march through the field tonight, so should be interesting to see what we get from that 96 machine. Up on the inside, the 75 Davey Hazard, to his outside the wonderful John Peterson in the 49, Cal Lovell in the 12 car, and to his outside it looks like we have another car that joined the fray there, the 55 of Michael Murata.
Oh, Mikey. I'm going to give him crap after the race about that.
Yeah,
here we go, Tommy, but here we go.
Here we go, Joe. That's your top 5 at least. And Jeff Dixon in the restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. The USORL is back racing in 2021.
Richard Pleasant ducks down in line, gets in front of that 55 Aaron's Toyota and Mikey Murata. Going to be 3 cars on the bottom. Peterson now looking to get back behind that 55 Toyota teammate.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that 55 car, Michael Murata, just like Michael Waltrip, they share the same name, and they also share the same talent and ability at Restrictor Plate Racing. Now, it may look like a Michael Waltrip car in front and a Michael Waltrip car in third. You got that right. It's Michael Waltrip, but it's not Michael Waltrip. It's Michael Murata and Jeff Dixon right now. Jeff Dixon leading the pack.
Dixon doing a good job. His internet, knock on wood, holding up so far. Back there, you see Davey Hazard trying to go to the outside of Peterson in that 49. Don't know if Davey's trying to make a move or maybe start to file back, although he gets back in line. Dixon leads lap 1.
Yeah, slide back in line there, Joe, does the 75 of Davey Hazard. There is a second line up higher there, kind of running that middle groove, but it's quite a few cars back right now. Single file up front. You might see that for a good portion of this race, at least to begin with, although Richard Pleasant moves to the outside. Doesn't look like he has any help, and he might be falling back right here.
And it might just be, you know, that idea, hey, maybe it's safer at the back. I don't know if that's the case. Austin Spencer, big move to the outside. You saw that yellow number 13 Ford Mustang. I don't know if maybe he got a bump there, but we continue to watch our leader, Jeff Dixon, with Mikey Murata running in second.
And in third place now, John Peterson taking a look.
Oh, Davey!
A little bit of contact there early on. Davey Hazard had to back out of that one. I was going to say, Joe, the 49 of John Peterson, he is our Dash for Cash leader right now. And in second in that Dash for Cash, the 12 Cal Lovell sitting back there, rounding out the top 5.
That John's looking good right now. You got the track position. You got to try to keep it. He now looks to the inside of Mikey down the back straightaway. Don't know if he's got that nose in there just yet. He doesn't. Mikey's going to come back down, block that run. Oh, it's going to really, really hold up that inside line there for a hot second, Tommy.
Boy, that could be super, super treacherous, Joe. Entering into turn 3 especially. You get a lot of momentum down that back straightaway through the draft. You can suck up to the car in front of you, and then all that momentum carries into the entry, the corner entry. You got to kind of back out of the throttle a little bit. And boy, I'll tell you what, Joe, it could be a disaster if these cars collected themselves in a situation down there if you're not paying attention.
And Tommy, EJF_62 writes in, do y'all only race plate tracks? No, we're better than that. We run everywhere here with the USORL, and all the other leagues here on JTN, we run every single type of track. Road courses, short tracks, intermediates. You name it, we'll run it. Dirt tracks, and you'll see it live here on JTN.
Speaking of races we've seen live on JTN, How about the first ever Talladega race we broadcasted? In that 55 car, Michael Murata won that race. Oh, looks like an aggressive move by John Peterson to block Davey Hazard from passing him on the inside. Those two already going at it, and Joe, we're just about 5 laps in.
Yeah, John Peterson has been really aggressive trying to keep that 75 car, Davey Hazard, behind him. It's kind of... I'm not surprised. I know John's a guy that likes to kind of, you know, wants to keep as many guys behind him, because I don't think he's necessarily always as confident in his ability to pass guys. Maybe I'm throwing a little shade at him, but he's a good buddy of us here at JTN. But maybe trying to keep those guys behind him as Mikey Murata looks like he's going to join that outside line. He cuts back down in front of the 49.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, speaking of that outside line, Joe, they've made their way back up to the front, led by none other than Richard Pleasant, our outside pole sitter in that 96 car. Wouldn't it be cool to see him lead this race for a bit? So far, it's been all Jeff Dixon up front.
And a guy that I can only imagine what's going on his radio. You saw a big moment there again between that 49 and 75. Davey Hazard has got to be fuming right now at the driver behind the wheel of that 49, John Peterson, as Richard Pleasant looking to the outside of Jeff Dixon for the lead through turns 1 and 2.
Surprised if Richard Pleasant in that 96 car would get the lead on the backstretch this lap. They have that momentum on the high side. Oh, one car peels out of line on the bottom. That's Cal Laval. He's going to be dropping back.
And that's really going to hurt that momentum of the inside line. Dan Asher giving a big push to the 96 of Pleasant. They're going to take the lead into turn 3, but Dixon trying to come back on the bottom.
Organized on the bottom right there. A lot of gaps between the cars, and right now that's going to give Richard Pleasant the lead. He might be able to clear Jeff Dixon, but with that help from Dan Asher, he might just stay up top too. Either way, Joe, Richard Pleasant now leads at Talladega.
And if you're looking for an underdog, look no further. The 96 of Richard Pleasant often ends up starting and parking tonight, trying to go for the checkers. He takes the lead, and he's clear of the 2 wide behind him.
A good run for that Freight Auctions Ford Mustang. Ooh, shuffling out of line. That's the 55 of Michael Murata. Looks like he's going to the back, Joe. That's something he did last night as well. Looks like he's just trying to get to safety.
I think he saw exactly what I saw behind him. That 75 and 49 just not able to work well together. We've seen the 75 trying to get below the 49, above the 49. Those two, though, those two Toyotas not working together like good TRD teammates.
No, they really aren't, Joe. And Davey's got to be frustrated. John's got to be frustrated too, because they're racing super hard, and that's allowed them to move back through the field now. That outside line, don't look now. Dan Asher is just taking the lead. He led that lap. He took it away from Pleasant. And following him, Steven Merzlik on the outside. They've been working great.
We saw that last night, that Dan Asher, he was driving the 50 truck last night, did an excellent job of once he got to the front, he was able to stay in the front, Tommy. So going to have to watch that as the night goes on if this 26 can continue to stay on the point.
Well, that 4-car of Steven Merzlik right now in 3rd place is where he's scored, but he is first in our Dash for Cash lineup. 2nd place still looks like the 13 now, actually, as I say that, of Austin Spencer. He takes over that 2nd place spot from John.
Yeah, Spencer and John Peterson side by side back there, the 13 and 49. You're going to watch from the spectator camera. You're just going to see this run. This outside line gets down the back straightaway. They're able to just hook bumpers. That 4 is Steven Merzlik doing a really good job right now of pushing this 26 out further and further into the lead.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, but again, looking on that inside line, Richard Pleasant has also done quite a pleasant job being able to get himself up to the lead for a little bit there and still leading this bottom line right here, although not much help behind him in the way of cars staying in single file.
Yeah.
But like I was going to say, Joe, the way the points format works here at the USORL, it's just like real-life NASCAR Cup Series racing, where you have a win and you're in format. So for that 96 team, this could be a huge, huge opportunity to get themselves into the playoffs.
And it's a big opportunity for a lot of these guys. We're seeing different guys already shuffling their way towards the front. I can name one right here. You see in the middle of your screen. It's hard to see that, too, on the door. That Shell Rotella Ford Mustang of Sean Whitehill. He's made his way to the front after starting mid-pack or so.
How about that, Joe? I mean, Sean's a guy who's been around a long time here. A friend of JTN, of course, has the sweet JTN logo on the deck lid there. I wouldn't be too surprised. They had a video game named after him, Sean Whitehill's Talladega Challenge, race against Brad and 18 other USORL Red Bull Cup Series drivers, and tonight he's showing why he was on the cover of that video game.
Always does a great job at these super speedways, trying to find his way towards the front. Now we got momentum again, building on the inside. Pleasant with Jeff Dixon behind him. They're going to try to get this thing moving. They're going to be coming up on lap traffic. I believe that's the 77 of Healy.
Yeah, Joe, he looked like he peeled off in pit on the first lap of the race. I think they had some kind of battery issue, had to swap it out. Was down on power from the start. Joe, we've seen it before, but at a track like Talladega, that's not a huge deal because you got to imagine at some point we're going to have a yellow and you can get yourself back in the lead lap.
Well, that's just unfortunate, though, to have an issue that early on in this race. You don't want to see that as we're going 3 wide farther back. Darren Ingram looking to go up the middle. There you see that black car. It's got TRD on the back. Kind of shuffling that 51 of Steelman out for the second, although Steelman looks like he's going to recoup that momentum. That 23 is going to have to get back in line.
Right now, Richard Pleasant has retaken the lead from Dan Asher on the inside line. Looks like they've got the numbers down there. But I don't know, Joe. I mean, again, that 49 and 75 of John Peterson and Davey Hazard, respectively, even though they've kind of been clashing a little bit, they've still kept it together. Haven't had any incident yet. And, of course, I'll probably be jinxing them here. But nonetheless, I mean, there they are sticking together. And that 96 now got a couple car lengths on Dan Asher in that outside line.
Well, the big moment we just saw there, Steven Merzlak was running second in line behind Asher in the 26. He decided to drop back. Probably didn't see something that he liked too well. We talked with him last night about what his expectations were for today. He said probably a lot of the same, although, Tommy, you're not in this race making it exciting. But these boys right now, they are driving their hearts out.
No, I'm making this exciting right now.
Oh, there it is!
Right here. Well, it had to happen eventually.
And he saved it, though. He saved it.
Yaz and John Peterson getting together a little bit. And Joe, it's a very lucky day for Davey Hazard fans that wasn't a worse incident than it was.
Well, I know there's a bunch of Davey Hazard fans out there watching. Thank you for watching. And we know you listen to the Fake Racers podcast with Davey Hazard as well here on JTN. But that was, you knew it was coming. You knew it was on its way, and it happened, that little bit of bumper grab down the back straightaway.
So that's one of the perils of online racing. A little bit of internet connectivity changes. You don't get that in real life, Joe. It can cause some problems. But one driver who's having no problems thus far, again, that 96 of Richard Pleasant, could be a huge underdog story to watch here early on.
Yeah, Pleasant now out front on the bottom. Austin Spencer now has taken over the second place position in the Dash for Cash, with John Peterson now leading the way there, third on the bottom. He's got Cam Barnes behind him. We know that 7 car is very aggressive here at these super speedways. Aggressive everywhere we go, actually, but Barnes will definitely be looking for a way to try to move his way farther towards the front.
He won a few weeks ago at Anchorage, so he's already in the playoffs, locked in there, but bonus points definitely a thing, and I'm sure he'd want to get all the help he can, because you saw it in real life this year, Joe, with Kevin Harvick. Doesn't matter how many bonus points you have. Anything can happen, especially here in the USORL.
Yeah, and those play-oofs at the end of the season, Tommy, they are always a spectacle, and we'll be carrying all 10 of those races from flag to flag, so that'll be a fun time once we get there. But we still got a bunch on the calendar before we get there, including next weekend at Pocono, which will be a tricky race for a lot of drivers.
Yeah, it should be. Now, that's a very difficult track. Here's the thing about Pocono, Joe. 3 different corners.
Rather, next week's Charlotte, end of the month's Pocono. My apologies. But Pocono, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Pocono. I mean, that's a tricky track. You got 3 different corners there. And these guys, you better watch out because they might get lost out there. These guys are so used to having 4 turns on the track, only having 3 could be a nightmare for some of these drivers out there.
And you see on your screen right now the upcoming races on JTN presented by TWB Technologies. Get stuff done. See, tomorrow night we'll have the Hobo Racing NXS Series from Michigan at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. Then next Saturday night, same time, same place, USORL Red Bull Cup Series from Charlotte. We'll see how that race shakes out as, again, playoff spots are on the line. Then that following Monday, January the 18th, ASLRA IndyCar Series from Gateway at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as then January the 20... Oh, gosh, I can't read it. At the end, last Saturday of the month, we'll have the USORL Cup Series again at Pocono, and then Excel Racing Shootout, new league for us here at JTN, to start off February on February the 2nd, or 1st, rather.
Look forward to in the month of January after a holiday break hiatus here. Check it out, Joe. The 7 cars moved up to the top and is leading the line. Cam Barnes up there. He's trying to take the lead away. Looks like he might just this time. That's Alex Spencer behind him in the 13 car, and looks like they're going to take it this time by.
Yeah, Austin Spencer giving a big push to that 7 of Cam Barnes. Barnes to the lead here, working lap number 18.
Right now, Cam Barnes in the lead behind him. Austin Spencer, he now leads the Dash for Cash. So good for him, but of course, Joe, a long way to go. Still over 80 laps left in this race.
Well,
anything can...
Tommy, we're coming up on pit stops pretty quick here. We've kind of been rattling these laps off at a rapid pace to start this thing off, but green flag pit stops, if they do occur, are always tricky for these drivers.
Really change the dynamic of the race, Joe. How you get on a pit road is so important because it could determine who you draft with and how many people you draft with. And of course, if you know anything about super speedway racing, you know that if you're alone, you're not going anywhere. Hey, but right now, one driver who's had a lot of help from a friend is Richard Pleasant back on the inside. I've seen that 15 and the 96 working together, Joe. It seems like that 15's been on the bumper of the 96, pushing him all night long, despite the little bit of warp right there from the 15.
And that's going to be something to watch. We know that 15 team, they've had difficulties in their transponder development over the last couple of months. They uploaded some new software, and the transponders are what, makes that little bit of warpy warp. That's the internet connection, right? But they've had some difficulties with their transponder development over recent months, and we're just watching to see if it holds out tonight. Knock on wood. Oh, and that's... Come on, man.
I mean, that is picture perfect timing, and I'll tell you what, this is going to allow that outside line to just float away. There's Austin Spencer. He's looking for the lead on the inside.
He's got help from Dan Asher, so that 26 goes with the 13. 7 car, Cam Barnes, he's going to lose all kinds of momentum, and now he's going to have the 2 of Sean Whitehill behind him. No love lost there between those two drivers.
It's divided by 13. That's 2. Oh, a little bit of squirreliness out of Austin Spencer right now. Boy, Joe, a win for him could be huge as well to lock himself into the playoffs. A lot of underdog stories here.
You had a lot of guys up towards the front that you don't see up towards the front, and that's what makes Talladega so special anywhere, any league, any sim, but especially here with the United States Online Racing League. I just love that sound, Tommy, of yum, 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 yum.
Quite like it. It'd be great to experience in person as screen through JTN. It's not too bad either. Nothing quite like it. And how about this? Dan Asher now on that high line. He wants to lead this thing for himself.
Well, he's going to take it here, Tommy. That outside line looks a little better formed up. He's got the nose out front for just a hair of a second. Oh, brother, Tommy, it's really close. I don't know who to say is the leader. They're tied. Coming down through the tri-oval.
Yeah, I got to be careful here through the tri-oval, though, Joe. I mean, we've seen what happens here. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, we have seen, haven't we?
Oh, that's Jeff Dixon in the middle. Going into 1. We hold it together.
And we're 3 wide for 3rd now. Oh, brother.
Oh, so good. Ooh, looks like Richard Pleasant now going to the high side. Boy, I know he wants that lead back. He was in the lead for quite a few laps, but got shuffled behind. Still trying to look to the outside of Asher.
And Dan Asher doesn't know where to go. He's now being taken 3 wide for the lead. Spencer, Asher, Pleasant from bottom to top. As now Dixon looking to the outside for just a second of Asher. Moves Spencer out into the lead. DJ Harris now challenging for 2nd place on the bottom of that Golden Corral machine.
Remember, folks, that Golden Corral machine on the back says, top 10, kids eat free. What do they say about a win? I would do adults eat free then? I don't know, but boy, that 66 crew, they got to be feeling really good how they've raced so far tonight.
Well, Tommy, if he wins, he'd definitely be getting that $45 for the Dash for Cash tonight, and I'm sure that DJ, after some failing post-race vibe checks at Mansfield, he'd definitely like to get a victory here tonight at Talladega.
Put it back in contention for the playoffs, and right now, I mean, any one of these drivers up towards the front could use that win and lock themselves in. One guy we haven't talked too much about tonight, he's back there in the number 23 car, Darren Ingram. He's always good at plate tracks, and Joe, especially Talladega, he's won here numerous times. Of course, was near the front until the very end last night. But don't look now, that 23 car has pretty much been in the top 10 all night long, and just a few rows back on the inside line. Looks like they've got things grouped together pretty well.
Well, Tommy, Darren is always one of the guys that likes to push the issue. He's very aggressive everywhere we go, so that just really, you know, you can really apply that here at Talladega at these super speedways, especially early on in the race when there's a lot of guys that maybe are a little more timid with the moves they'd like to make, so you can kind of take advantage of that.
No matter what, though, Joe, you got to be there at the end of this race. Although you speak of moves here, there goes the 23. He's going to follow Dan Asher in that middle line behind them, Jeff Dixon. So that middle line now has a little bit of support.
Middle line's got support, Tommy, but right now the bottom looks like it's the most formed up, although that outside's starting to get some momentum rolling behind Richard Pleasant in the 96.
Yeah, and behind him, of course, the 49er, John Peterson. Since scrapping with Davey Hazard, Peterson's fallen back just a little bit, and Hazard is really just vibing out at the back of the field right now. So he had a very sketchy moment, but right now has lost the draft, and well, he's hoping for some kind of incident to come out so he doesn't have to go a lap down here.
I would assume Mr. Davey Hazard is not Mr. Happy Pants right now. He's probably a little bit upset with what happened earlier on, but there's still a long ways to go, just a quarter of the way through this race.
Yeah, plenty of time left to get yourself back into this, and of course, plenty of time if you are in it to get up to the lead. No need to press the issue just yet. I wish someone would have told me that last night.
Well, I was screaming it up here in the booth, Tommy, but I don't think you could hear me. A guy that has done a great job of moving himself up to the front. It's this 14 Home Depot machine of Joey Stefano.
Yeah, how about that, Joe? Joey, of course, returning to racing recently over here on the NR 2003 circuit, and he's won quite a few super speedway races back in his day, and my goodness, it hasn't been the cleanest return for that 14 team, although right now, sitting there in third, he's looking good, Joe.
Well, and remember, his mentor, his idol, Joey Fulford, won his last career race here at Talladega. What a way that would be to win here at Talladega to honor a legend and mentor.
It's been a big day for Joey, actually, today. Before the race, visited his local Publix store to sign some autographs, and who else was there but the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis. Boy, that's quite the guest. Anyway, like I was saying, Joey Stefano up there in third doing a great job. At least one of them is doing a great job.
Yeah, we're starting to single out Tommy. That's giving me the little indication that we're probably getting close to pit stops here.
Yeah, we've got to be close here, Joe.
And there they are.
In fact, here they are.
Look at me.
Oh,
no. Oh, no. Hondo Joey around. Dan Asher. Oh,
We'll
big.
see if they get yellow here.
I don't know
So
if they
far,
will.
good.
Oh, no.
No, we're going to bring out the yellow. We've got a car in the travel grass. That's Garrison.
Oh, man.
No, we stay green.
What are we doing? Tommy.
I'm not seeing any call from the officials. Boy, I would have thought we would get a yellow for that incident, but Joe, we're staying under green flag conditions.
Well, Goody YT writes in, remember me from yesterday? I do. And Goody YT, do you remember when I threw a yellow last night when I thought there should have been a caution? Well, tonight I really think there should have been a caution right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, that was a really big incident. Of course, we had the cameras on Joey, and here comes our second group down. A little bit of less traffic there. Seems like everyone makes it on okay this time around, but this is really going to shake things up, Joe.
Yeah, it's shaking things up in a way I don't think you want to shake them up. Real quick. Here's the number 1 Valvoline Chevrolet of Zach Krastowski. I saw the question about sponsors in the chat. These guys, they choose their paint scheme. Some of them really like to make Me go crazy. This number 1 Chevrolet Zach Krastowski is definitely one of them that's doing that to me tonight in the Valvoline on the hood with the Pennzoil yellow.
I absolutely love that car. Let me tell you.
Yes, you do, Tommy. Yes, you do. So right now, it looks like Austin Spencer, he's first out of this chain of drivers that came to pit road and had those issues. Guys coming off pit road right now that were that second wave, so we'll see how it kind of merges. But right now, Tommy, everything is really broken up. Darren Ingram, I believe, will be your leader here as things cycle through.
Yeah, Joe. I mean, this race went from having one big pack that was really sticking together very well, except for a few stragglers, and now it's definitely separated into maybe an old-style kind of super speedway racing before, and even during the early days of plate racing, not really a pack, but strung out groups of drafting partners.
Looks like this 13, 7, and 15 all working really well together. Darren decides to go up and try to block him. Don't do that, Darren.
Oh, boy. Yeah, things got really tight on the exit of 4 right there. That's a lapped car of Jack Healy right there in the 77. He's not racing for position, but he certainly made it interesting there. Looks like Austin Spencer up in front for Spencer Racing is Cam Barnes in second.
Those 2 Fords out front right now, so that moves Austin Spencer back in the lead for the Dash for Cash as well as the race. Darren Ingram here on your screen in the middle of it in that 23 car. He's in second for the Dash for Cash, trying to recoup some of that entry fee money.
Well, and how big of a day would this be? For Spencer Racing, they won with Cam Barnes just a couple weeks ago for their first win since Season 1 of the USORL Red Bull Cup Series, and now the team owner, Austin Spencer, leading the way here. I know it's early, Joe, but they've put themselves in a great position.
Well, and don't look now, the 24 of Randall Coleman, we haven't talked about him a lot, but if you're familiar with sim racing and these USORL races and where the leagues kind of have their associations, Randall Coleman's definitely a name you know. First time we're talking about him tonight in this number 25 Hooters machine, but Randall's starting to make his way up towards the front with help from Sean Whitehill and Huang Do.
And Sean and Randall have a lot of history together, teammates for a long time. They work together well, and over here they've done a great job keeping it clean and found themselves up in this lead pack. I think that's going to be very crucial if they have any shot at winning this thing. But of course, Joe, so far, over 30 laps complete, and they have all been under green flag conditions. Impressive.
Very impressive, Tommy. The one incident we saw coming to pit road, you saw it live on your screen, but it was, it's questionable, the call by officials, but they made the right call. I think everything was off the surface. Everyone kept going, Tommy, but oh boy, that really splintered up this field.
Sure did, Joe. I mean, it's like you took a hammer to a glass bottle. You've got pieces everywhere, but up front, the biggest piece of them all, of course, are our leaders. Almost 3.5, maybe 4 seconds behind. This front group of 7 is another group led by the 1 car of Zach Krastowski, and looks like Steve Merzlak in there as well.
And those guys, they only have 5 cars compared to our leaders who have, I didn't count, but 8 or 9 cars, so that's definitely going to put them at a disadvantage. They're really going to have to work together and hope that those guys up in front of them start kind of splintering or trying to make passes.
Yeah, this is a scary situation if you're one of those guys that aren't in this lead group, because really, I mean, you're banking on an incident happening, a caution, to get you back up front and with a chance to contend for the win, but you don't want the caution to be you. So a lot of guys now crossing their fingers to get a yellow that isn't them. On the flip side, Joe, of course, as we run single file and spread out like this, the chance of a yellow happening goes down drastically.
Well, because you'd have to have a multi-car incident. Now this lead pack, they're probably going to get the services of this 16. You see him on the outside, Garrett Sidner. He was one of our Dash for Cash drivers, now being put a lap down. They're probably going to gain his services as part of their draft.
Yeah, that 16 car took a little bit of a detour through the tri-oval during green flag pit stop cycles, and not exactly the night they were looking for early on here, but plenty of time. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't feel like too much left when you're in one of those positions where it seems like everything's gone wrong.
Tommy, when you're in one of those positions, behind the wheel, it's really, I know it's really frustrating, but what can you do? What can you really try to do to mentally rebound, to actually on the track physically rebound? Is there anything, or are you just kind of along for the ride now at this point?
Well, you've got to cross your fingers, your toes, and everything in between that an incident like we just saw in turn number 3 happened between Sean Whitehill and Huang Do. They kept it together, but they got down on the apron for a little bit. That slowed the momentum. But fortunately for them, and unfortunately for the rest of the field, it didn't bring out anything. They kept it going straight. But Joe, you just got to ride along. You know it's frustrating, but don't let yourself get brought down mentally by doing things by caring about things that aren't really in your control right now. You've got to just stick to your plan, your race strategy. Make sure that you can, have a car to finish with at the end above all, because I guarantee if you at least finish this thing under full power, you're going to finish a lot better than if you made a stupid move and damaged your car.
And those guys forming back up into this pack, so that's not going to allow that secondary pack to try to close the gap a little bit here. But right now, Cam Barnes doing a really good job of pushing his teammate, the 13 of Austin Spencer.
Yeah, he's done a great job up there. Austin Spencer, I mean, this win would be so huge for him. We saw a first-time winner in the Cup Series in Noah Joyce in that 3-car at Daytona. Austin Spencer hasn't won in a while, and I'm sure he would love to win here tonight. Get that monkey off his back.
And that's a really big thing for a driver. You can try to discredit it by saying it's a super speedway, or, oh, you won on fuel mileage. There's a lot of ways that people try to discredit people's first wins. But honestly, these guys are so competitive everywhere, Tommy, including at these super speedways. You have some of the best drivers in any NR 2003 league here in the USORL. It doesn't matter where you win. It's a big accomplishment.
Hard to win, Joe. As simple as that. It's hard to win. And I'll tell you what, winning, there's nothing better. I'll tell you what, though, a bunch of drivers now trying to break up that Spencer Racing party down below, led by the number 15, our pole sitter, Jeff Dixon. That outside line is coming back, and I'll tell you what, Joe, it's going to slow him down just a little bit. I'm telling you, that pack behind them has inched up a little bit now, just 2 seconds behind. They could be back in this thing. Oh, Jeff Dixon, a lot of warp there.
You kind of see it from that camera as we were focusing on him. That's that warp I was talking about that you really don't want to have. If I'm Dixon and if I'm any of these guys, I'm yelling right now to tell him to slow down and get out of the way, because that is terrifying, because all of a sudden that 15 car could be on the apron, it could be in the outside wall, it could be in the catch fence. You don't know.
Looks like he gets to the back of that group safely for now, although this double file, Joe, it's going to slow him down. Darren Ingram now leads his first lap of the race. This second pack, Joe, they're knocking on the door. Now just 1.3 seconds back, and I'll tell you what, I think they're going to get there.
Yeah, they're going to catch him. They're starting to break into that bubble of air. Once you get within that 1 second window, Tommy, that's where you can really start sniffing the draft, and there you see it. They're already up onto the back bumper of that 15 of Jeff Dixon.
That's kind of what you're hoping for if you're one of those guys in that second pack, that you'd at least get the chance to get up there. Now, what they do with it now, anybody's guess. That 77 car, Jack Healy, looks to the inside of Darren Ingram. Remember, that 77, a lap down, he's just looking for one of his laps back here, not on the lead lap, so maintain the lead to Darren Ingram that time by, but it's Randall Coleman now in second place on that inside line.
Yeah, and Coleman's really been pushing this 77 of Healy, so you have to wonder if he's maybe thinking, hey, I can just ride in second behind the 77 and take the lead here in this race. Although, as I say that, he, of course, goes to the outside to try to get into that clean air.
He didn't think too much about that idea. Oh, Austin Spencer.
What a save.
Boy, he got really loose there. I think that might have just been a bad bump from Cam Barnes in the 7. Unbelievable that he was able to hold on to that car at such high speeds. That's now 3 times, really, we've seen something like that happen, and the guy's been able to hang on to it.
Yeah, that was fantastic save there by Austin Spencer in the 13. You love to see it, and that, again, just goes to the point that all these races are hard to win, especially when you can have moments like that at any instant. There he is out front, that Hooters number 25 of Randall Coleman. That's a beautiful looking machine there. You always love a little bit of orange and black, but Tommy, we have a bunch of sponsors and I gotta pay some bills. So real quick, if you do, viewers in chat, make sure you head to our description. There's a bunch of links down there. Head over to autosim.weebly.com. Autosim is the premier text-based simulated racing game. It's free to play. Go to that website linked in the description to download Autosim. You can also join their Discord where they have mods for the game that bring it into the real-life world. It's a project made by one of my very close friends, and honestly, it's probably one of the best games you can play, and it's free. It's absolutely free, guys, so there's no reason not to download it. In the link in the description below, autosim.weebly.com. You can also check out my interview with Steve, the creator of Autosim, now on our YouTube page. Also, go check out JoeTow Designs. Use code JTN2 at checkout for 10% off. But while you're doing that, if you do nothing else tonight, make sure you hit the like button on the video. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Subscribe to us here on the JoeTow Network. We appreciate that so much. We're on the road to 400. We gained 12 subscribers, Tommy, in like the last week or so, and that's a big number for us here as we continue to grow our brand, and really appreciative of all you guys joining over the last week or so as Randall Coleman leads this time by.
Joe, you mentioned the subscriber count. I remember just a couple months ago, the big deal was hitting 200 subscribers, and now we're closing in on 400. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but 200 is half of 400. That means 400 is twice as much as 200. I mean, it's crazy. What's happening here?
It's crazy, and again, we couldn't do it without the fans at home, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys have been great tonight. Chat's been really lively. Keep it up. We love to see questions in chat, too. If we are to get any cautions, so they really help us continue to bring this atmosphere that we like to do, this lively atmosphere here at JTN. Randall Coleman, though, is leading this lively front pack now, Tommy. They're too wide right now. A little bit of shaking by these guys. Maybe trying to... Ricky and I talked about it last night. There's not really side drafting in NR 2003, but maybe it's more of a mental game.
Yeah, I mean, when you get close to a car like that, I mean, it kind of... Well, Joe, sometimes it can put people on an edge, and if you know exactly who it gets scared, you can use that to your advantage. But certainly, then if you have a little bit of warping issues, internet issues, that makes it all the more sketched out of a situation. So right now, I think you can see quite a big gap between these two lines, the middle line and then the bottom line there. Maybe a driver's going to take advantage of that later on. Who knows who would do that? But
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe too early just yet.
I think his initials might be TB, and he might drive a 57 car when we see him on track. But right now, Garrett Sidner, Jack Healy working really well together there on the bottom. Both of them trying to get a lap back. Randall Coleman, your leader. Second place, Darren Ingram in that 23 on the outside. And Huang Do battling with John Whitehill for that third position. Is now Sean trying to take over the second position from Darren Ingram.
I mentioned this, Joe. It may not be at the front of the pack, but on the tail end of this lead group right here is the 55 of Michael Murata. I'm telling you, Michael Murata, one of the best there is at plate racing, and he's hanging around, Joe. You just wait and see. I think later in this race, he might have a real shot at this thing.
Well, he's definitely got a real shot at this right now, because all of these guys up here in this front pack have a real shot, Tommy, except those two guys that are obviously a lap down. Steven Merzlak, bad bump there from the 15. Sends that 4 little squirrely going into the tri-oval. Oh, Tommy, those are scary moments, man. Those are just really scary when all of a sudden the back end of the car is off of the racetrack.
Boy, you see that in real life, too. And how many times the drivers in real life have a similar situation and aren't able to hang on to it? Credit to these guys here in the USORL Red Bull Cup Series. Great wheelmen and whatever else you want to be.
I see in the chat, Alex Seifert, a.k.a. Jag, says, put a camera on Jag. Tommy, should we do it?
Yeah, Joe, I think so. Why don't we take a look at wonderful machine he's got going on there?
There he is, and that fire alarm service is on the back. I can't see what's on the side, but in that 24 machine. A little warpy right now, Jag. I think you want to make sure you're not watching the broadcast. You want to make sure you got your eyes out front, because that 12 cal Laval really trying to push this 24 again. We're all splintered right now. Yeah, but there's that 24 and 12.
Well, what, Joe? I'm just seeing a lot of math out here right now. The 24 and 12, I mean, there's two cars together. What's 12 times 2? 24. It's crazy what's going on here. I'll tell you what, but Alex Seifert there, he's a wheel man, and I'll tell you what, great to see him back in the NR 2003 atmosphere as well.
Gotta go back to our leaders. Randall Coleman on the outside, continuing to maintain that lead. Sean Whitehill, though, third car on the inside, trying to make the pass for the lead. Wonder if that 2 car might think about getting into that outside line, because right now they're really strong, Tommy.
They are really strong, but yeah, I mean, you gotta figure, Joe. I mean, the dynamic of this race, right? It ebbs and flows. Which line is which, and I think a lot of these guys, you know, we've seen a lot of guys choose different lines at some point or another. Cam Barnes was in that high line just a little bit ago, as was the 23 of Darren Ingram in the low line. So, guys moving around, things are going to change, and that's also going to change which line seems to be the strongest. And the winner is going to come from whatever line at the end is the strongest. I'll tell you.
Well, and right now, Tommy, they're catching some lap traffic. Lap traffic, you know. Up in front of them, it looks like it's the 75 Davey Hazard, 3 at Noah Joyce, and then I couldn't tell who that third car was. It might have been the 49 of John Peterson.
I don't really hear too much the phrase lapped traffic ahead, Davey Hazard. Not very common here on JTN to hear, but I'll tell you, Joe, after that skirmish with John Peterson, he's been running in the back, out of the draft seemingly all night long since then. Although, Joe, yeah, we still have one big factor of that has just been we haven't had any incidents, no cautions.
No cautions tonight, even though we had a scare there, but while we were away, Sean Whitehill is taking over the lead, so he's in the lead there on the third car on the inside. He's got Cam Barnes right behind him. Austin Spencer now taking the lead in the dash for cash. Now he's going to choose to go to that outside line. Oh, nope, he thinks better of it, goes to the bottom, stays with his Ford brethren. Never mind, now he's in the outside. He proves me, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, Tommy.
Well, you know, how about Sean Whitehill up in that 2 car, Joe? I mean, usually just a part-timer over here at the USORL Red Bull Cup Series, although this season has gone full-time, and it's been kind of an up-and-down season for that 2 car, but leading here at Talladega, boy, I mean, wouldn't that be a big win for the team? So many great storylines come from these plate races, Joe. Just add another one to the list.
Yeah, Sean Whitehill and the whole Team Towansky crew. Oh, wait, that's me. They do a great job here preparing these 2 cars over here for the United States Online Racing League Red Bull Cup Series, and they put a lot of work into the shop over the Christmas break, or winter break, rather. Non-denominational break.
You guys always seem to be fast when it comes to super speedway races, Joe. I know you've won some very crucial, absolutely very crucial Talladega races in your past. Perhaps more of the same can head to your driver there, Sean Whitehill.
Oh, well, he's got the best crew chief up on the box. He's got the best car chief as well, so I don't... He's got everything he needs. He's just got to go out there and do it, and I'm sure he's going to prove us proud there. But, Tommy, one of your guys back there in the PTR machine, Steven Merzlak in that 4 car, he's starting to try to rally his way back up towards the front.
I got to tell you, a recent development in the last couple months, and we already know Steven Merzlak is a phenomenal racer at any track, road courses, short track, speedways, all of the above, but not only is he a champion, but Joe, he's really come into his own on these super speedway races. It just looks like he's figured it out. He's unlocked something, and he's a different driver when it comes to super speedway races this year. He's seeming to always be at the front in contention for a win. Tonight's been no different necessarily, but I would expect him to strike late. I mean, he's sitting back there in 8th right now, but you just wait. Once we get down to the brass tacks here, he's going to be in contention for this win.
Yeah, Tommy, I think we saw him last night when he was driving the 2 truck. He was one of the better pushers, was one of the guys that was really aggressive at the end. He really waited till the end of the race to make his way up towards the front, and don't be too shocked if you see that 4 car sitting in victory lane after this thing. It's all said and done. I would love... Real quick, I see some chat going on. Sharky Uno writes in. Exactly. Subscribe and share. That is the best way to support us here at JTN, isn't it, Tommy? But do that for us. We really appreciate that. And then So Play Cool EAS writes in. We're going to get to 400 by the end of the month. I so hope so, but I think we're on that right track right now, Tommy.
Yeah, and if you're at Talladega Super Speedway, you're also at the right track for some racing action here. Over halfway through at this point, Joe, these drivers have made it all this way without a yellow flag waving. Really impressive, Joe. I mean, sometimes you can go to a race at a super speedway and it can be a caution fest. You have lots of big ones, lots of banged up race cars, but thus far, and I don't want to jinx anything here, but thus far it's been a very clean race aside from a few incidents such as the pit road incident and some things on the backstretch. But I'll tell you, Joe, these guys, despite the lag that we've seen at some intervals, a great job of keeping it clean.
Yeah, and right now, Tommy, they're singling out, so that's, again, the indication that we're coming to green flag pit stops here in a second. It'll be interesting to see those two lapped cars out front. We also have the 75-49. They're, once again, nose to tail. What lap traffic as part of this pack will do, see how that kind of plays out here. I'm assuming they'll just pit with the leaders because you don't want to lose too much time. But we should be looking at green flag pit stops here in another 2 to 3 laps.
The other option they might try is just to stay out as long as they can and hope that there is a yellow during a pit road sequence. Maybe they can get a free lap back that way. But either way, right now, if you're any one of those guys, not really the position you want to be in. Certainly this far through the race and we still haven't seen a yellow and you're stuck a lap down, kind of a daunting task to come back from.
And again, it's just it's a product of what we saw come to pit road the first time, so these guys obviously hoping not to have a repeat of that incident. Tommy, we're just gonna have to wait and see right now. But we're coming to pit road here in a couple laps, folks. It's gonna be really crazy, really exciting. This is the stuff that really gets me crazy. Just the way the strategy ends up working out and how aggressive guys are coming to the line. A guy that's really good at that in NASCAR is Kyle Busch, a guy that's really aggressive getting to that pit road line and trying to make up as much time as he can.
I'll tell you, Joe, it's really, really difficult to get down this pit road. It may seem like a really wide area down there, plenty of room, but to get in there fast and to not lose much time to some guys, maybe even pick up a couple spots. Remember, Joe, you're going from about 200 miles an hour down to 55, a pit road speed limit of 55. That's a 150 mile an hour delta right there that you've got to slow down. And I'll tell you, with cars all around you, that space may seem big from the air, but on the ground, it's a lot less. Here's our first takers now.
Sean Whitehill locking up Danny Asher. Austin Spencer make contact. Cam Barnes around. Steven Merzlak around at the end of pit road. Car in the grass. It's Mikey Murata. We got cars all over the place here at the entrance of pit road. More cars coming to pit road. It looks like we have a caution.
The caution is finally waved, and Joe, it was from a pit road incident. Lots of cars involved. Oh my goodness, and that one, I'll tell you what, that took quite a few cars with it too. I don't think anyone got damaged too bad, but oh man.
Let's see a replay here, Tommy. It's all going to start. You're going to see a lot of smoke build up from this 13 of Austin Spencer, and I think that's where a lot of this really starts here coming to pit road.
How many times? I feel like we've seen something like that in the Daytona 500 a few years ago.
This guy's nowhere to go, Mikey Murata through the grass. You're right, Tommy. I mean, this is something... You see it all the time, right? Guys not knowing when other guys are pitting. It looked like the 13 might have slowed down on the track a little bit. We saw Davey Hazard and John Peterson have to check up. Another guy that looked like he was maybe a little aggressive here coming to pit road. It's this 26 of Dan Asher. We'll get you our Ford Performance on board. There you see him coming to pit road. He's trying to be aggressive to make up the time. Maybe hits the brakes. The car gets a little squirrely on him, and that's just going to cause a mess here. Wong Do slipping through there in the 54 Sports Clips machine. But Tommy, this changes everything.
Well, it does, Joe. All of a sudden, we had that lead pack, but we did have quite a few cars in a separate pack, maybe running on their own in a duo, like we saw with Cal Lovell and Alex Suford earlier. But now everybody's back together, and a couple of these guys, Joe, are also going to get their laps back, at least one with a lucky dog, and it's going to bring another car back into contention here. And Joe, what's the famous phrase? Cautions breed cautions. Boy, I wouldn't be surprised now that we're later in the going. These guys are going to be more and more aggressive. We might see more and more yellow flags coming out.
Yeah, and Tommy, it's just... Oh, this is not a good feeling now. We're over halfway in this race. Again, we're racing to 101, not 100 as it says on your screen, so we apologize for that due to server issues and whatnot. But, oh man. My stomach's twisting and turning right now, Tommy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Joe. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Those guys in the back were just crossing their fingers, hoping that something like this would happen. They've got this opportunity, and boy, I mean, what a relief those guys must have. Now, for the guys up front, it's got to be a heartache because you were running away with this thing, had a whole group of cars you didn't have to contend with for the win, but now everybody is back in this thing, and anything can happen.
Are we choosing here, Tommy?
Looks like we are, Joe.
Okay. Well, we're just going to miss that choose cone there for a second, although there isn't a cone there.
Looks like we are not.
Okay. Well, then that gives us a quick second to hear a word from the JTN merch store. Or JoeTow Designs. I forget which button's which. I got it. Why we make notes, folks. From JoeTow Designs here in just a second. Hey guys, you've heard about them a lot on these broadcasts, and now you get to see from JoeTow Designs for some great racing related and really some awesome designs. Go head over to JoeTow Designs, linked in the description below. We're going to go through a few of my favorites here in just a second. You got the Bad Year 2020 tees. It says $19.99 on your screen. They're now $18, so go check them out. Just a great gift idea to kind of wrap up this year that has been 2020. You know, racing related. So, cool logos there. You got hoodies, tees, long sleeves, because again, it's getting a little chilly outside. Now you got the Hammer Down Quarter Sprint tee with some JoeTow Designs markings on it. It comes in a couple different colors for you as well. They're just a t-shirt. They're $18. Again, great quality designs on quality products. You got the Push the Cushion Sprint Car shirt. This one comes on a tee and a hoodie. Again, a couple different color options for you. So that takes care of our dirt racing fans. Don't worry, IndyCar fans. I didn't forget about you. You can check out the Belle Isle Grand Prix poster here. It's a great little poster. It's retweeted by the Belle Isle Grand Prix on Twitter. So just saying, it's pretty cool. It's got some clout. But my personal favorite, it's the Puppy Nap Time tees. They come in some really cool colors here. This light pink is actually one of my favorites. It's a nice, cool color. Nice, relaxing color for when you want to nap. Take a nap with your pup. You also got hoodies because, again, it's getting cold outside. And, ooh, who doesn't love to sleep in a hoodie on a nice, cool day? But, again, use code JTN2 at checkout for 10% off. JoeTow Designs, linked below. You've heard about them. Go check them out. Give them a try. Some great designs there. JoeTow Designs. Back here at Talladega, and Tommy, it looks like you dug into your big old question bag. It's Tommy's mailbag here on JTN.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Good to have at least one of these Tommy segments here tonight. Question from the California Poppy. He writes in, obviously because it's online, the bumpers grab each other, but do the different manufacturers' bumper shapes cause problems like they sometimes do in physical NASCAR, or is it not too noticeable? That's a fantastic question, actually, and it depends kind of on the mod. But the hitboxes on these cars, Joe, I don't believe there's any manufacturer-specific differences between the actual hitboxes. Obviously, visually, they're different, but they should line up just fine. So this particular mod between the manufacturers, not much of a difference, nose to tail.
Yeah, Tommy,
great question.
I think fantastic question. Thank you, the California Poppy. And great answer, Tommy. I think you're spot on. Working into the Myco restart zone. Jeff Dixon's got control. He hits the gas. We're going to get there fast. Green flag's back out at Talladega.
Wow, terrific start for Jeff Dixon there. I mean, he just took off right there. Problems for Dan Asher on the restart, Joe, up on that high line. Take notes. I mean, the last restart we had, the start of the race, that outside line struggled a little bit there too, with Richard Pleasant out there on the start as well. So maybe a little bit of learning going on for later in the race for some of these drivers.
Well, and we talk about it a lot here with the leader having the ability to call the restart, Tommy. I think that's a really big thing at these super speedways because getting that momentum started is so key, right? That's why the leader can get out to a relatively big lead.
Good point, Joe. And even though he may get out to a big lead for a second there, you can see now it's all but closed up. Cam Barnes right on the tail of the 15 car.
Yeah, Barnes is right there on the back of Jeff Dixon. Have to wonder if maybe he sees that outside line starting to form up with Asher there in the 26. If he can get clear of that 26, maybe he goes up there and tries to lead it to the promised land and the lead.
Yeah, well, we've seen him do that before, right? That outside line up into the lead, and then was behind his team owner, Alex Spencer, as well for a little bit on the inside line. So we know Cam Barnes can swing either line pretty well. Speaking of swing between lines, it is Austin Spencer having a bit of trouble back in the pack, but he gathers it back up like the master he is.
I think you're going to owe him a few Eggo waffles there, because that's I think the second time, if I do recall correctly, Tommy. It's okay, though.
We Alex Stufert back, Joe. There's too many Alex.
There's too many A's.
That's right. But back up front, it's the Jeff Dixon show. He won the pole for this race, led for a good portion of the beginning before surrendering the lead to Richard Pleasant, who, Joe, now sits back outside of the top 10, back in 13th last time by. But so far, that 15 car looked awfully good. And I'm not just talking about the paint scheme, but the speed as well.
Yeah, Dixon doing a great job staying out front. I figured you'd like that paint scheme, but I think a lot of Michael Waltrip fans are probably loving seeing that 15 car out front once again here at Talladega. But that 7 Ford Motorcraft Quick Lane machine, well, we've seen a Ford Motorcraft Quick Lane machine out front at Talladega as well a lot. They're 1 and 2. That's Cam Barnes in the 7 right behind Dixon. Oh, looks like towards the back, it's the 13 of Austin Spencer going way high. I wonder if maybe he got a bad bump there. I say bad bump a lot, but it goes back to that question that you answered, Tommy. Just those bumpers don't line up sometimes.
I mean, a lot of it, too, sometimes is the angle more than just the shape of the bumper, too, at least in online racing. Depending on where you're carrying your car, what direction you're pointing, and relation to what direction the car's traveling in front of you, sometimes you may kind of brush them a little bit to the side instead of just straight on. And that can cause the rear end to get loose of the car you're pushing ahead and cause a little bit of an incident like we saw right there.
Yes. I don't have anything to add to that. You hit it nail on the head right there. Looks like this outside line, Asher getting a really good push from Sean Whitehill. And don't look now, that's the 07 car of Jamie Zalecki. I just wanted to make sure I got the name right. He's got that bright orange, fluorescent yellow and green on that machine there, riding third on the outside. First time we've said Zalecki's name all night long. And behind him, Matthew Steelman in the number 51 Cheez-It machine.
Matthew Stillman hasn't been up front too much this race or this season, really, at least on JTN. He's had a couple hard crashes like the one at Las Vegas a couple months ago. But so far, that 51 car doing a good job. Kind of been quiet today, but sometimes, Joe, that's the best thing to happen. Another guy that's been quiet today, but yet has found himself up at the front of the field, the 25 of Randall Coleman, sitting there nicely in third.
And those two guys, they have not had the luck to start this year. They're looking to turn it around. Or not to start this year, but to start this season. As now we're in the new year, they're looking to turn it around in this new year, 2021.
Well, all right, Joe, we're coming down to the wire. Just about 35 laps to go, 36 this time. It's going to be crunch time. We're still going to have one more round of pit stops for sure. Whether or not they're going to be green flag pit stops, we will see. And if they are green flag pit stops, we've already seen both times there have been incidents, one of them bringing out a yellow flag. So certainly, Joe, I think every driver has that on their mind of what's going to happen the next time I go down pit road.
Yeah, and you're just worried. We've seen an incident every time, Tommy, and I mean, it's been the same group of guys, right? It was that first group, that first time, the 13, the 26, the 7. It was those guys, and then they were also coming down the pit road that second time, so maybe just the brakes don't agree with the way they're attacking it, and that's something they're going to have to figure out here if we get another green flag pit stop. Or maybe it's just Ford. I mean, the commonality there is they're all Ford Mustangs, right, Tommy?
Well, yes, Joe, and I'll tell you, I mean, speaking of Ford Mustangs, they've also been fast, Joe. I mean, we've had Austin Spencer lead, he's a Ford. Cam Barnes, he's a Ford. Dan Asher up there and Sean Whitehill, both Fords. And Jamie Zalecki, like you just mentioned a little bit ago, Ford as well. Just like real life, Joe, we see Fords seem to dominate these plate tracks. And I know you may be a Mopar guy, but in Michigan nonetheless, that must mean a lot to you.
Yeah, you always like to see when it's either a bow tie or a blue oval out front over one of those Toyotas that you love to drive here. But yeah, I mean, it's always good to see these American manufacturers up front, but right now it's Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Toyota, your top four, and a battle between a Chevy and a Ford for fifth. And now it's the Toyota and Ford. It's changing so much. I don't even know why I keep trying to reference positions, because they're everywhere right now, Tommy.
Well, that's Talladega, Joe. And how about this? Our top 10 separated by just half of a second. 4.5 tenths behind in 10th place is Matthew Steelman. Boy, could go to the sponsor next week and say, well, how'd you do? Well, I only finished 4 tenths behind the leader in 10th.
Hey,
craziness out here.
You just got to figure out how to present the information. Isn't that right?
Right, that's right. And a car that's been presenting himself very well to the field this season, pretty much all season long, has been the number 18 of Ray Tussin. I wanted to mention how great those paint schemes have looked. Ray's a terrific painter. We have a number of great painters in this league. I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what car he was in tonight, because I know they always bring something special to every racetrack. And of course tonight is the Remember Everyone Deployed, the red 18 with the blue 18 on the roof. So just shout out to Ray Tussin right there.
There you see it on your screen. Ray starting to make his way up towards the front on that inside line behind the 11 of Antonio Ruiz, who we also haven't mentioned very much tonight, but both of these drivers are Dash for Cash participants. You see them trying to work their way up into the money, and right now, it's Darren Ingram in fourth. He's the leader of your Dash for Cash drivers, and Zach Krastowski there, right behind him in that bright yellow Valvoline machine. That thing is, oh man, Tommy, that one really hurts my head. But there you see it on your screen. He's running there, fifth on the inside, second in the Dash for Cash.
I'll tell you what, Joe, mind games sometimes are important at these restrictor plate races. I keep calling them restrictor plate races if we use those anymore. But let me tell you, mind games can mean a lot here. And if you see that car behind you, you think, oh, it's just Steve Park. Psych, it's Zach Krastowski. You better get your money up or your funny up, let me tell you.
That one car will be aggressive at the end of this thing. Zach is very good, sneakily good at these super speedway events.
Well, someone who hasn't been sneaky but sure has been good, that 15 of Jeff Dixon. It seems like he's been warping at times all over the place. Hard not to notice him, but it's also hard not to notice him when he's up front. He's led all this way since the restart so far, and now with just about 30 laps to go, maintains the lead of this race as he has for much of the event here this afternoon, leading from the pole today.
And I want to just real quick, Tommy, because I just saw it there last time through the trial flow. I'm going to completely change the topic on you, and I know you love it when I do that, but I saw guys, they were hitting that double yellow line. What does that do to the car?
Joe, because it really upsets the car. I mean, think about the angle that your car is on. You're between very, maybe 20 degrees of banking on the front stretch here. Maybe it's a little bit less than that, but either way. And then a flat apron with just a few degrees of banking. I mean, it does a lot of things to your car that I think you can only really understand if you're behind the wheel. But what it's going to do is just kind of bounce you off there, push you out further to the right of the racetrack. And if there's a car right next to you, especially if it's a truck like mine, you can end up in the wall pretty quickly.
And the battle's on now for the lead. Jeff Dixon on the inside, continuing to hit that yellow line on the bottom. Cam Barnes had enough of it, pulled into the outside, and now he's taking the lead down the back straightaway with all that momentum that we see Dan Asher and Sean Whitehill giving him.
Two Chevys on the inside, followed by a train of Fords on the outside. Going back to the 51 of Matthew Steelman, 5 cars up there in the high line, all Fords up front. Well, they look like they're going to be able to pass those Chevys down below.
It's Polar writes in, what is the Dash for Cash prize? Whoever finishes highest out of the 11 Dash for Cash drivers will take home $45. And then second place in the Dash for Cash running will take home $10, which was the entrance fee for all 11 drivers, with the other half of the money going to the server for the league. So a great way, again, for the league to raise some money to continue to make this free for these drivers and to continue to have us out to put on these great showings.
I'll tell you what, that $45 for the Dash for Cash winner, good chunk of change. Go spend it over at the JTN store. They've got some great shirts over there. I know one of them was my favorite, the Tommy's World shirt. And also pick up a piece of JTN merchandise as well. I've got my JTN shirt on right now. It's very comfortable.
Oh, and they're the softest. We made sure to use the comfort tees because, well, they're comfortable, Tommy, and you can check out that linked in the description below with our Facebook and our Twitter. So if you haven't already, like our Facebook page, go follow us on Twitter because, again, we post anytime we're going live, anytime we got new content coming out on the JoeTowNetwork YouTube page. You want to make sure you're in the know. Go check out those two forms, as well as, again, being subscribed right here on JTN. It's the easiest way to support us. It's the best way to support us. Oh, buddy. Whoa, whoa. That was...
Onto it.
What?
I mean, unbelievable. How many times have we seen a near wreck and nobody has spun, Joe? This is incredible.
I always like to do it when I'm talking about important stuff, too, Tommy. I've noticed the trend. I think they probably got feeds of our audio down into their cars, but... that splinters this group again. Right now, everyone on the outside. The 66 of DJ Harris, he made a really aggressive move to get to the inside, but if you're Cam Barnes, are you thinking about trying to pull these guys around the outside now that inside's just gotten so splintered?
Well, so far it's been working, Joe, and he's using that very high line in 1 and 2 right there. It looks like Dale Jr. up there. You know, we see a lot of plate races in the older package. Maybe everybody's up high, trying not to get past right there, and it's working so far. But I'll tell you what, holy smokes, Joe, these guys, I mean, I don't know how they saved it. We were so close for a wreck right there, but we stayed green, and this time by 26 laps to go.
Yeah, and fans are on their feet, Tommy. They know we're coming down to the end of this thing. Oh, and we got 2 cars around, and that's going to bring out a yellow. I couldn't tell who it was, Tommy, but... oh boy, it looks like the 11 of Antonio Ruiz. Heavy damage to the nose of that machine. The 32 of Sean English. Looked like he was around there.
And that 11 of Ruiz, one of our Dash for Cash contenders, he was up there in the hunt.
See what happens, Tommy. I have no idea what happens. We're going to go from the helicopter cam because I think this is our best angle on the exit of the tri-oval. There you see the 32 on the bottom, that first red car, the 11. And, oh, Ruiz looks like he thought the one at Krastowski was going to come down and make contact with him. Everyone does a good job. Oh, a little bit of... obviously, 32 hits the wall. 13 of Austin Spencer, nowhere to go. But Ruiz having a very solid night, just gets tripped up there by a little bit of movement out of that one car, Zach Krastowski. See the onboard here coming through the tri-oval. Well, I don't even know if he saw him, Tommy. I wonder if it was maybe some lag.
It could have been, Joe. You know, looking at this, I mean, I don't know. I think I got to get another look here. Just watching back the replay here that Bristol's queued up for us. I don't know. I mean, there's also a lot of cars shuffling around, and Joe, you know, entering that part of the track. We've seen incidents there before, just like last night. It's one of those things. I think everybody, you know, it's time to go. And for these guys putting the pressure on each other, closer racing, you know, sometimes causes more incidents.
Yeah, that's just a tough break. The Ruiz having a good time, although it looks like they've gotten most of that damage fixed. There you see that 11 car on pit road. Don't know if it's still under power or if they had to shut it off. Everyone coming to pit road, though, here, Tommy, because this should get them to the end of this race. It looks like Cam Barnes makes his way off pit road first, followed by the 07 as Alecki. I don't know if DJ Harris, was he a lap down, or was he...
Looks like he's gonna be, I think he's going to be the lucky dog here, Joe.
Okay, so he'll be the lucky dog. That'll get him back on the lead lap and get him back into a good position to try to win this Dash for Cash, because boys and girls watching and boys in these cars, we're getting close to that payout window, and it's getting time to pull those belts tight one more time.
You make a good point. I mean, we should be good here to go with gas to the end of this race. Even if we do have perhaps an extended overtime, you just hope those guys got the tanks all the way full as they could. Of course, no catch can man these days to know for sure, but nonetheless, it's a pair of 7s out front, the 07 and the 7, with Jamie Zalecki and Cam Barnes.
The only thing that would make it better is if the 77 and Jack Healy was up here. It'd be 7s wild.
Like it was at Las Vegas. It is right now, lap 77, coming to once we restart this race, although right now still just pacing, trying to get everything lined up.
Again, thank you so much, everyone tuning in. I see we've gained some subscribers tonight. Really appreciate you guys. Here we go into the restart zone. Actually, we're going green, Tommy. Green flag. We're back racing.
I'll tell you what, the back half of the field did not look like they were ready to go, and because of that, I think guys are going to be kind of strung out now. I think they'll still get their way back up there through the draft, but above all else, a bad start from Cam Barnes. Jamie Zalecki now in the lead.
Yeah, and he pulls down into the bottom. He's going to block that momentum of the 7 of Barnes. That's going to allow Randall Coleman there on the outside with a big push from Huang Do start to make their way up towards the lead. And don't look now, but behind that 54, it's the 75 of your best friend, Davey Hazard.
He's come pretty much from the bottom to the top at this race. I mean, he was in the back of the field a lap down, and no help out there. He's managed to recover all the way up to the top, just basically the top 5, Joe. I'm calling this cars are too close. At this point, I'm calling the top 5 and that outside line.
And they're starting to wiggle waggle through the tri-oval, Tommy. These guys, these lines are alive right now, snaking back and forth. But Zalecki, I'd give him the leads just because he's on the bottom right now through 1 and 2.
Yeah, so far, but that time at the line, Joe, 0.00 seconds. The gap between Randall Coleman in the 25 and Jamie Zalecki in the 07. Randall Coleman, no stranger to victory lane here at Talladega, and he's one of the best when it comes to play tracks, I'll tell you. Both of these guys right now out front vying for their first win of the season and a shot at the playoffs.
And what a way that would be to start 2021 out, Tommy, with a win here at Talladega. You don't have to worry about the next couple of months and worrying about your positioning trying to get into the playoffs. You can just focus on trying to get wins to get those bonus points that will carry you throughout the playoffs. Playoffs.
A little bit of an advantage that time for the outside line. Randall Coleman had the lead at the stripe. And I think down the backstretch, they're going to gain a little bit more ground. Huang Do pushing Randall Coleman up there on the high side.
Well, you got a lot of really good pushers there behind that 25. Huang Do, Davey Hazard, that 54 all over the back bumper of the 25. But that inside just, again, it's the shortest way around the track. And that sounds very no duh of me to say. But if you got the right guys down there, it can definitely be a big advantage.
Can, but I feel like, Joe, we've seen that outside line be able to do a lot when trying to get these guys to lead. We saw even very early on in the race, Richard Pleasant was able to take the lead over on the outside, but of course then he dove to the inside just a little bit later on. So really, Joe, I mean, it's more that ebb and flow. And right now, Joe, I said the outside line was going to be good. Well, there goes the inside line taking the lead once again.
Well, I'm also keeping an eye on, and you should too at home, look at those yellow banners. We're starting to see them work their way towards the front. Yeah, they're not in these first 3 rows, but there you see Steelman in the 51. A guy we haven't talked about all night long, Cal Laval, in that 12 Louisville car. Well, he's second in the dash for cash right now with Zach Kristowski to his outside. Garrett Sidner also making his way towards the front. Steven Merzlak at the back of your screen. Ray Tustin as well. Right now, Tommy, we got a bunch of races going on throughout this field.
Yeah, not just for the win, but also for that $45 prize. And I know these guys are hungry. They want it. Matthew Steelman, boy, that'd be great for him to turn this season around with a little extra cash in his pocket by the end of this race.
Yeah, and that 51 just has had terrible luck, and I'm going to knock on wood here real quick because I don't want to jinx him once again here on JTN as Randall Coleman takes the lead through 3 and 4. But that 51, just what a way to start the year and what a way to turn around your season.
turning around the season. A guy who's had terrible luck as well has been the 25 of Randall Coleman. Seems like every week he's been in another accident. Well, not so this week. He's up front and definitely has over a car length lead over the 07 and that whole inside line right now. I wonder if he'll go to that inside line or just stay on the outside. It's been working pretty good with Huang Do right behind him.
I think he wants to keep that 54 behind him because I've watched Huang Do. He's been one of those guys tonight that we've been able to see really push the car in front of him, lock bumpers, which is legal here in the USORL. He's been able to push. I don't know if that's maybe because Davey's behind him and giving him a good push. Oh, we got contact!
Oh, and a huge wreck.
2 cars on their roof. Shaun Whitehill, Jeff Dixon. No.
Oh, and a terrible crash, Joe. I am surprised. I am shocked that there wasn't more cars involved in that incident.
And that looks like it's going to be the end of the day for the 15. I would assume for the 2 as well, Tommy. But that brings out our 3rd yellow of the evening.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, that was a hard hit there for Shaun Whitehill and Jeff Dixon.
Oh, and Tommy, it looks like the 15 of Dixon just squeezes Cam Barnes there on the bottom. Or maybe Cam comes up. Cam actually comes up off the bottom. Those two fighting for that room, that real estate. It was not free real estate.
No, he paid the price for sure.
But the guy that really paid the price had, through no fault of his own, the 2 is Shaun Whitehill.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that was a great job of avoiding that wreck by the whole field. I mean, the one thing I guess that Jeff Dixon had going for him was how fast he shot out to the outside wall. Didn't have any time for people to catch up to him and hit him to make that incident any worse than it was. The 15 car, I mean, I'll tell you what, I mean, he had a great run going today, kind of got shuffled back a little bit, of course had the lag problems, but now a definitive end to his day, unfortunately, in that TWB Chevy Camaro.
And here's the visor cam. Now we know Shaun is okay. Here's his visor cam here. Just a scary ride. Really dizzying here as you're just kind of along for it. He's on his roof, and Tommy, that is definitely not a good feeling to have of sliding on your roof down the banking at Talladega.
Yeah, Joe, you don't want to be leaving your race car facing the Australia direction. That is for certain not how you want to end the day. And unfortunately, I mean, Shaun Whitehill, both those drivers, Shaun Whitehill, Jeff Dixon, had great days going, but it all ends in turn 3.
Randall Coleman, your leader right now. He's got to be loving having the extra caution laps. Huang Do in 2nd, 3rd Davey Hazard, Jamie Zalecki there in 4th in the 07, and then 5th is Cam Barnes. 6th, it's the 26 of Dan Asher. 7th, the 1 of Zach Kristowski. 8th, the 51 of Matthew Steelman. In 9th, it's the 12 of Cal Laval. And rounding out your top 10 is the 16 of Garrett Sidner. Another one of our Dash for Cash competitors. I'm going to read those Dash for Cash drivers' names off from left to right because I want to make sure their names are set on the broadcast and you know who they are. From left to right, the number 1 is Zach Kristowski. The 4 is Steven Merzlak. A lot of you guys know him as Caffeinated Pixels. Go check out his design pages and his Twitch. There's a lot of guys on here on Twitch, too. 11 of Antonio Ruiz. 12 of Cal Laval. The 13 of Austin Spencer, also on Twitch. The 16 of Garrett Sidner, the 18 of Ray Tustin, the 23 of Darren Ingram, the 49 of John Peterson, the 51 of Matthew Steelman, and the 66 of DJ Harris. Your 11 Dash for Cash drivers tonight competing for the $45 prize. But right now, our top 6, Tommy, they're just regular competitors. They're not racing for money. They're just racing for a win here at Talladega in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Yeah, they may not be racing for money, Joe, but one driver in particular racing for a lot more than that. Of course, that's the 25 right now. Our leader, Randall Coleman, has yet to win this season. And Joe, he's had a rough season indeed here in the Red Bull Cup Series, so he would love to get a win, lock himself into the playoffs, and make sure he can have a shot at this championship title.
Well, he's going to have a really good pusher here on this restart. So Davey Hazard takes 2nd on the inside. Huang Do, he's out front on the top. with Jamie Zalecki there second on the outside. Zach Krastowski, Cam Barnes will make up row 3. Steelman, Asher, row 4, and row 5, Garrett Sidner and Cal Laval. Interesting to see more guys taking the top here, Tommy. We'll see how that plays out. But Randall Coleman, he's going to be in the driver's seat for this restart as we make our way through the tri-oval and down into the Miteco restart zone. Green flag, and we're back racing, and a lot of wheel spin out of that 25. That's going to allow this 54 Huang Do to edge his way out front as they cross the start-finish line.
Well, Joe, I sure hope all these guys are in the driver's seat. I don't think you can drive these cars any other way. But right now, Randall Coleman, not only at the front of this pack, but he's getting a lot of help from that 75 car Davey has behind him.
Well, right now, we're really splintered up top and on the bottom. Steelman now choosing to go to the outside. He's got to try to work his way around Zach Krastowski there again. Dash for Cash battles also on. Yellow banners, yellow spoilers. But right now, the outside, it looks like they have more of the help, but... Interesting right there. Randall Coleman, Davey Hazard, they take the middle line through the corner. That's where a lot of the grip is and a lot of the speed.
Yeah, that's a smart move. I mean, in that bottom line really was at a disadvantage there coming off of turn 2. They had a lot less people and a lot less organization, but they've managed to claw their way back using that middle line. That's going to be vital. If they want a shot at winning this race from that line, they've got to stay in the middle. I think that's the place they have to be and kind of squeeze that outside line up as far as they can go with Huang Do on the high side. But that's going to give an opportunity to the low line. Garrett Sidner now, followed by Austin Spencer, trying to make it work on the inside. It's 3 wide here on the backstretch.
3 wide down the back straightaway. Randall Coleman looks like he's clear of all 3, so he's going to have a decision to make here. Nope, never mind. Not clear of the 54. And in a second, not going to be clear of the 60 to Garrett Sidner, who takes the lead into turn 3 and 4.
3 wide, 5, 6 rows back, side by side by side. These cars all wadded up together, but not wadding themselves together right now. Garrett Sidner to the lead on the inside line. Impressive run for that young man who was a lap down and through the tri-oval grass earlier in this race.
Yeah, and right behind him, it's that 13 of Austin Spencer. Steven Merzlak, they're third on the bottom, and Mikey Murata, don't look now. Here comes that 55 Aaron's Dream Machine there in 4th.
I told you, Michael Murata's a super speedway ace. Hey, right behind him, Sean English right there. I'll tell you what, he won our first duel of the season at Daytona. That 32 car, the only Dodge representative, could have a shot at another plate win right here. This one would be for points.
Yeah, and you want to get that, again, it's a playoff spot, folks. You want to get it, not just if you're one of these Dash for Cash drivers, because a spot in the playoffs, that's guaranteed if you win here tonight at Talladega. Garrett Sidner, though, he's liking what he sees behind him as they're 3 wide, about 3 or 4 car lengths behind, and that 13 car of Austin Spencer just really committed to that back bumper.
Well, he is, and don't look now, Joe, but we've got a lot of Dash for Cash guys up front. It's Garrett Sidner right now in the lead, and that $45 prize right behind him, the 13 of Austin Spencer. Oh, a little bit of contact. Oh,
that's the big one.
Here it goes on the backstretch. Unbelievable, up and over. Michael Murata involved. Cam Barnes involved.
Randall Coleman and Matthew Steelman. What did we just see, Tommy?
Oh, my goodness, Joe. That was the big one. The caution flag waves. Poor Michael Murata. I'm telling you. He got thrown around like he was in a tornado right there. Oh, my goodness.
We're still fetching the replay here, and oh boy, Tommy, what do these wrecks always come back to?
Well, a couple of things, Joe. It's late in the going. Everyone's trying to fight for every spot they can. A lot of shuffling, a lot of moving around, especially on the exit of corners, and I think you just have cars going all over the place, getting a little into each other and causing that accident.
That is a tough one there. Austin Spencer up and over. It looks like Mikey Murata might have actually drove away after flipping there. Spencer retiring out of this event. That is a tough break there for the 13.
I'll tell you what, Joe, looking at our viewership right now, looks like we got around 50 viewers and 26 likes. Let's try and get to 33 likes for Double Dale for the big one here on the backstretch of Talladega.
There you see it from the end of the back straightaway. Bunch of guys at the back just slamming on brakes not to get involved. But oh boy, Tommy, that is definitely not what you want to see late in the going here.
No, certainly not, Joe. That can end. I mean, that ended a couple people's days right there. And even if you were fortunate enough not to get too damaged, even if you have to go back in the field and pit. You're going to lose a lot of track position, which is oh so crucial when we come to a green-white checkered finish, which we might. We still have quite a few laps to go once we get back going green, but anything can happen now.
Well, we have overtime here in the USORL, so that will be something to watch too. We have probably at least 2 to 3 attempts possible.
Oh, we got the double Dale. I'm looking right now. We got the double Dale on likes. Thank y'all. My goodness.
My goodness, indeed, Tommy. One more time from the helicopter cam, because everybody loves Rex. I'm just looking at the chat, and holy yes, chat. It is... You went crazy, we went crazy up here in the booth, but one more time at the wreck, we'll get you back. We'll try to see how we reset here.
Oh man, this is incredible, let me tell you. Take a look at what this has done up at the front of the field. Sidnor and Merzlak 1 and 2 are Dash for Cash leaders so far. Sean English has made his way up to 3rd. He went through that wreck unscathed.
What a rebound for that 32 involved in that incident with Antonio Ruiz earlier on that brought out our 3rd caution of the day. Rebounding up into the top 3, and he's going to have a good shot at it here. Darren Ingram, Tommy, I mean, nobody knows what's going through the mind of that 23 driver, that number 23 car, because I don't even think he knows what's going to go through his mind, what moves he's going to make. But right now, it's Garrett Sidner and Steven Merzlak, 2 guys we talked to last night after the truck race here at Talladega. Well, they're out front again. They're showing why they're so good at these super speedways.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mentioned, Joe, about halfway through this race, look for that 4 car at the end. He's going to be up there at the end with a shot to win this thing. And I'll tell you, he's proving it right now. He's proving me right. He's making me look good. And even, doesn't matter where he finishes at this point, he is up here in contention for a win. And as we get to the nitty-gritty here, he's been able to navigate through quite a mess on pit road, on the racetrack, and has found himself in a very good spot.
And thank you to all those that have chosen to subscribe to us here at JTN. Keep sending it to your friends. Keep sharing it. Keep hitting that like button. Yeah, we're at Double Dale, but we're actually past Double Dale now. We're even better. But, Tommy, I don't think you can be better than Double Dale. What am I saying? Thank you so much, guys, for the support. That's what I'm trying to say. But getting ready for this restart, it's about to get crazy. About to get crazy.
Looks like we're going to choose this time, Joe. So these guys here on the turn 3, entry, I suppose, is a white line across the racetrack. That's our choose zone right here. Make your choice by then. Looks like the 16 and the 4 both chose the bottom. Sean English behind them, and our first taker on the high side, the 23 of Darren Ingram. Joe, get excited. I think that's going to be a lot. Right behind him, too, fan favorite, Huang Do in the 54.
And I think that outside line just had... More people like that outside line for these restarts. We saw last time the guy on the outside, it was Huang Do, that was able to get a really good restart. I don't know if there's maybe... These guys on the bottom have trouble, maybe a little bit of wheel spin due to the banking through the tri-oval, being a little uneven down there, maybe a little less grip, but... We'll watch to see how that plays out. Garrett Sidner going to have control. Darren Ingram to his outside. Steven Merzlak there in 3rd. Huang Do 4th. 5th, Sean English. 6th, Davey Hazard. In 7th there in the 77. Jack Healy. 8th, Zach Krastowski. 9th, Cal Laval. And in 10th, Antonio Ruiz. Down into the Myco restart zone we go. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. There we go.
Oh, pretty good start there for Darren Ingram. In fact, he's going to take the lead. He's going to lead this lap as we're now at 10 laps to go. Brought to you by TWB. It's the TWB 10 to go. From porches, patios, and more, go visit GardenLightsDirect.com for all your outdoor lighting needs. That's GardenLightsDirect.com on behalf of TWB. That's your TWB 10 to go. We're right back into this action, Joe, because it is incredible. Darren Ingram up front getting pushed by Huang Do.
And remember, we're racing to lap 101. That's what our scheduled conclusion to this event will be, but we do have chances at overtime. Huang Do all over the back bumper, Darren Ingram in the outside. They're facing the challenge of Garrett Sidner and Steven Merzlak on the bottom, coming off of turn 4, coming to 9 to go.
I think it takes a little bit for that inside line to get going. We saw it take a few laps last restart to really get it organized and take the lead, of which Garrett Sidnor was able to do on that inside line. But right now, the outside line doing a great job. Those top 3, top 4 maybe have cleared that bottom line, are set and sail. Let's see if Huang Do waits to make the move or perhaps does it early.
I think with a guy like Darren out front, Darren is very cunning. He's very smart at these super speedways, Tommy. If you make your move too early, he's going to start putting that in the bank. Try to figure out a way if you don't get by him, he's going to have your move saved in his brain.
Well,
I don't know what I'm saying.
Speaking of putting it in the bank, Joe, he also leads our Dash for Cash right now. $45 to his bank. If he can hang on to this spot right now in second place in the Dash for Cash, it's a toss-up between the 1 of Zach Kostowski and the 16 of Garrett Sidnor. Right now, give it to Kostowski.
Kostowski sitting there in 4th on the outside. He's got the challenge from Sidner on the inside for that position. And now Davey Hazard making his way to the bottom. Ingram's going to block.
Yeah, there we go. The 75 car. I thought he would make a move sitting there in 3rd. We know how good he is. Oh, there he goes to the outside now. Oh, not quite. The 23 blocks that off. And now Huang Do leads the outside line.
And a big push coming here from Zach Kostowski. And the one behind that 54, Huang Do. Davey Hazard, though, continues to try to look to the outside of Darren Ingram. Not enough room to get that done. Going down into 3 and 4. Ingram still leads.
He might be setting him up, Joe. He might be setting him up to look high. Darren goes to block high, and then the 75 is going to dip down low. You wait and see.
I'm looking, but that's not what you want to see.
Oh, that's the sucker hole for the 75, Joe. It could be over for Hazard at this point. No draft help for Miles.
No, he's going to get help.
English.
Gets help from that 32 with Sean English, and they also have that preferred middle groove. Hazard cuts down in front of the 51 of Steelman, and now it's the top 3 on the bottom, all for the Dash for Cash.
Boy, it's like rush hour there at 200 miles an hour. Darren Ingram leads the way. Garrett Sidnor in 2nd. Last season's champion, Steven Merzlak, in 3rd. Those 3, all Dash for Cash drivers, all at the front of the field.
Again, $45 on the line. That's a lot of money. They've all put $10 into the pot. Calaval. Oh, we got a wreck at the back. Jamie Zalecki. Antonio Ruiz.
That's going to set us up, I think, Joe, for just about a green-white checkered finish. It's going to be close. My goodness.
I don't think I can take it, Tommy. My heart can't take it.
That is super, super intense up front and the back, and something had to give.
There you see the replay. Cal Laval. Oh, it looks like Cal makes his move in front of the 11 of Ruiz. Randall Coleman might check up a little bit. Ruiz gets into the back of him. That sends him around, and that also collects Richard Pleasant, who was having a great run at the start of this thing, and Jamie Zalecki there in the 07.
Great question from the mailbag. I'm guessing the yellow tags on the specific cars indicate something. Well, yes, you're right. They are our Dash for Cash drivers. You can see their numbers at the top of the screen there. The 1, 4, 11, 12, 13, 16, 18, 23, 49, 51, and 66. Those are the Dash for Cash drivers. Racing for a $45 top prize. Second place gets $10.
And you do not want to finish second, because just finishing second, you're just getting your money back. You didn't, do the $10 entry fee, Tommy, to come in second just to make the money back. You did it to win the cool $45 prize.
Yeah, no kidding, Joe. 65 viewers on here. $45 prize because we got 45 likes out here. I think we can do it. We're right there. We got the people. I appreciate all the support out here. We really do. This is a fantastic race. Fantastic crowd out there as well.
You've gotten us to an all-time viewership high on this live stream, so thank you so much to all you guys tuning in. I'm assuming a lot tuning in for the first time. If that is you, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of these broadcasts. We'll be coming back at you live tomorrow night for the Hobo Racing League NXS 20 Series from Michigan. I'll be up here in the booth with Ricky Collette, who was actually up here in the booth with me last night, Tommy, because you were partaking in that race. We're going to give you the night off after what has been a crazy race here at Talladega. But, oh boy, Darren Ingram, I don't know if in these situations you like having the caution laps, or if you hate seeing them because they give these guys maybe more chances to kind of build a strategy to find their way around you.
We'll have to see, because it's going to depend also on what line this 23 takes. And we saw him have success in the high line. In fact, seen a lot of cars have success starting on the outside line for restarts. So I think, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't be a fan. I like racing it out. I like green flag racing. Green, white, checkered, I'll tell you, Joe, as a driver, can't stand them. As a viewer, as a commentator, nothing more exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that, Tommy. I mean, they're scary. Your knees weak, arms are heavy, whatever. Yeah, you know.
Well, at this point, your arms have got to be heavy. They've been on the wheel all night. Minimal brakes, have a lot of green flag racing. Your knees, I mean, they're bent on the pedals. They could be weak. That's why these drivers, they're more than sim racers. They're athletes, baby. Maybe that's taking it one step too far. I don't know.
Nah, you're good. This race is mentally and physically grueling at times. And Huang Do, he's going to be the first to take the inside lane. We saw the top four all choosing to take the outside. So big strategy call there for the 54. See if he can capitalize on that here in just a second, as Darren Ingram will have control on the outside here for this restart.
Well, I'll tell you what, a huge gain in track position right there for Huang Do in the 54. It could pay off, but boy, that inside line needs to have the best restart it's ever had. Darren Ingram, he's going to be fast up top. And he has control of the green flag as well.
Got a little bump there for Garrett Sidner. Yeah, so we got Darren Ingram on the outside, Huang Do inside, then row 2, Zach Krastowski on the inside, Garrett Sidner. Sean English in that red 32, and Steven Merzlak there in row 3. Row 4, Matthew Steelman, Davey Hazard. Row 5, I see Jag there on the outside and Jack Healy on the bottom. So coming into the Mike-Go restart zone, Darren Ingram's going to have control. He hits the gas. Green flag. We're back racing at Talladega. And oh boy, he's really out in front of that number 16 car that lined up behind him. And Huang Do's going to fill that gap.
Well, he had a good restart. Huang Do had a decent restart. I'll tell you, no one else did. We've got these cars up front strung out. But Joe, it might look good for them now. But I'll tell you what, Joe, they're going to get caught fast by this group behind them. There's 3 cars right here. Sidnor, Merzlak, Hazard. You wait for see what they do on the outside line. Huang looking to the outside of Ingram. Back and forth.
Oh, he got Darren to bite to the bottom. Huang's going to have the push from Sidner there behind him. That's going to push this 54 to the lead on the outside, coming to 4 laps to go. 3 laps to go, sorry.
On the inside in the 24 car, that's Alex Seufert. But nice to see him up towards the front of the field. That's Huang Do in the lead right now. On the outside line, Sidnor behind him, Merzlak in 3rd.
And remember, we're racing to lap number 101 due to some server issues at the start of this event. So it says 100, but we're going to 101, folks. Huang Do with 3 to go here. He's got Garrett Sidner and Steven Merzlak right behind him. And don't look now, that 23 Darren Ingram. I'm telling you, that guy is not out of this race just yet.
But he's going to need a lot of help, I think, on that bottom line. That high line is stuck together great right there with Huang Do in the front, Garrett Sidner behind him, and then 2 teammates, 75 in the 4. They're going to work together great, I think. It's going to take a Herculean effort now for Darren Ingram, but I wouldn't put it past that 23 team.
Tommy, I'm on the edge of my seat right now because you know there's a big move coming from that 16 of Sidner if he can just get a good run on that 54. Coming to 2 laps to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, all the virtual fans in the grandstands may have paid for their seats, but they're only using the edge right now. 2 laps to go. Huang Do on the outside. Sidnor behind him is just waiting. He's just waiting for that moment to pounce to make that move.
Oh, Merzlak to the bottom. Oh!
Problems! And we got another problem.
And that's going to bring out a green-white checker, Tommy. We're going to have overtime in this race at Talladega. And all bent up. It's the 4 Steven Merzlak already off the track. And what a heartbreaking way
my goodness.
to end this race.
Oh, my goodness. We are going to go to overtime. USORL overtime. Oh, my gosh, Joe.
You're going to see it.
As if this race wasn't intense enough.
Here it is down the back straightaway. It looks like, oh, the 16 is Sidner. He just gets into the back bumper, that 54, and the 4 was already down below him, and it just sent that 16 into the 4 of Merzlak, and that's how super speedways work, especially at the end.
Boy, such a bummer. I hope I didn't jinx Steven Merzlak there because I knew he was going to be towards the front at the end. He's a fantastic super speedway driver, not just super speedways, but anywhere. Tough break for that team. Hopefully they can rebound at their next entry. But this does put the 75 car of Davey Hazard in second place. Joe, remember the beginning of this race, he and John Peterson going at it?
Yeah.
Could you have thought he would be in this position? I thought so, but man, it didn't look like it early on, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, you always have ultimate faith in that 75 of Davey Hazard. I knew he'd be back up towards the front. I knew he'd be back on the lead lap, contending for a win, but I didn't expect to see him up here second, coming to an overtime finish. Behind him, there's another hungry cat looking for his first career win. Had it taken away earlier this year at Mansfield. That's DJ Harris in the 66. Jack Healy behind him in 4th and 5th. Be always exciting and entertaining. Darren Ingram. And right now, DJ Harris is actually in the lead for the Dash for Cash. That $45 prize, that's just changing all over the place right now, Tommy.
Yeah, well, don't forget DJ Harris is also a Dash for Cash driver there in 3rd.
Right.
You said DJ Harris.
I did. It's okay, Tommy. I'm really excited right now, too. We're excited.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, though. That 66 of DJ Harris, not only is he up there, but I mentioned it earlier. You youngins out there, top 10 for that 66 team. Kids eat free at Golden Corral. Book it. I think it's going to happen.
Are Golden Corrals even open right now?
Question. Probably for takeout and delivery.
Well, all right then.
I suppose so. Well, either way, I mean, here we go to overtime. Huang Do fakes. And I know he didn't have to pit there. But it's been a while since we last pit. If we keep getting overtimes, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be an issue. Fuel could be a factor. Maybe. But I think we're good to hear from here on.
Oh,
wow.
Man.
I mean, this has been incredible.
I think we're just at a loss for words right now. I think that's the moral of the story right now. Thank you so much. I saw the viewers go over 70. I don't know if I think they got to 80. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, it means the world to us here at JTN. Thank you so much for sharing the video. Hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Oh man, we're gonna have a crazy finish to this one. Huang Do, he's gonna have his choice on this restart, and he'll have control of it. Davey Hazard, he'll have a very important decision to make. Does he stay behind the 54? Does he try to outsmart him on the restart, Tommy?
See, I don't know, because we've seen so many different approaches to leading this race. Obviously, we've seen that high side be really good, and if you're the 75 car, I feel like you've got to take it, because I haven't seen what I need to see from the bottom lane on the restarts. I feel like if that 75 car follows Huang, gets a good draft going, maybe when that white flag comes out, try and maybe look low and then go high, or do something like that. I think you just can't afford to take the bottom lane there and lose too much track position. I think you got to take the high line here if I'm Davey Hazard in the 75.
Yeah, because then you can kind of try to get that middle line, right? You can get that middle, which we've seen be so dominant here, and he's going to take the bottom, so he said, screw you, Tommy. How does that make you feel?
Well, that's like Davey to me. So we are a lot the same, but also a lot the opposite. So
not surprised?
Not surprised in the least.
That's going to put Davey Hazard on the bottom for this restart. Huang Do, he's going to have control of it on the outside. Row 2, it's DJ Harris and Jack Healy in that 77 M&M's machine. Haven't seen Healy up front. Could be a surprise winner here. Zach Krastowski are in second for the Dash for Cash. Third on the inside with Darren Ingram to his outside, also competing for the Dash for Cash. Matt Steelman and Keon Barnes. Steelman on the inside in that 51. Competing for the Dash for Cash on row 4. And then row 5, Jag in that 24. And friend of the show, Ricky Collette there. Running in 10th in the TWB.com machine. Coming into the Myco restart zone for, I don't know if it'll be the last time, folks, but we're going to hope that we get a great overtime finish. Here we go. Green flag back out and big wheel spin on the bottom, Tommy.
Problem there for the 75 and the 66. I didn't think the bottom line would work, Joe.
I'm going to tell him I told you so. He goes,
and there
oh,
goes
Darren.
I mean, what a aggressive move, but you have to at this point, Joe. The 23 behind Huang Do there. Jack Healy on the outside. Jack Healy, who was also laps down earlier in this race, finds himself leading a pack with just 2 laps to go. It's getting really close.
Huang, don't go down to the bottom. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead for a second. Jack Healy's going to have all the push from the back. From behind, Davey Hazard all over the back bumper of the 77 coming through turns 3 and 4. Oh, Hazard, big move!
Incredible. I mean, how did David get back up there? They had a terrible restart, and yet here he is fighting with Jack for the win. This time around, it's going to be the white flag out at Talladega. 1 lap to go.
They made it this far, folks. Their next flag, it doesn't end the race. We're racing back to the line. Oh, and there it is!
No!
Big saves there. Ricky Collette involved, Jag involved, but we're going to stay with the battle towards the front. Jack Healy out front. He's got 2 hungry cats behind him, Davey Hazard and Darren Ingram. What line will that 77 block down the back straightaway?
Gotta pick the right one. A little bit of rubbing between the 75 and 23. Oh, and a big rub between the 2.
Oh, and the 7 of Barnes in the wall.
Here we come. We're going to enter into turn 4. Now remember right now, at Talladega, the start and finish line's not in the tri-oval. It's a little bit past.
Aaron Ingram looks high. He looks low. He looks high again. He looks low again. Healy's committing to the bottom. Oh, the 32 of English around behind him. Coming to the checkered flag, and Jack Healy's going to win it.
Oh, no wrecking after the fact as well. Cars everywhere, Joe, but it's Jack Healy with the win.
Holy.
Randall Coleman flying into the picture. Unbelievable.
We got a junkyard at Talladega. More guys coming to the finish.
Unbelievable. I mean, how about that, Joe? Jack Healy in that M&M's Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
What a comeback for him.
Where is he? He's off the track. Car's done.
He's out of here. That car had nothing left. I mean, that is incredible.
All right, well, we're gonna take you through. There's a lot of calamity. So here's what's coming to the checkered flag. You saw it at the back of your screen with English and Zalecki making contact. Zalecki just goes into the left rear quarter. Oh, that's Ryan Newman, Carl Edwards-esque there between the 32 and 49. Thankfully, no spectators injured here.
Wow. I mean, that 32 of Sean English took flat as well, Joe.
Oh my goodness. Here's the wreck that started all the carnage. Oh, and it's friend of the show, Ricky Collette, Tommy.
Oh, Ricky.
There you see it. Oh, actually, it's the 66 in front of him. Ricky tries to go low, avoid it, and there you see Jag also involved. Oh, Mikey Murata involved. Noah Joyce there in the 3 at the top of your screen. Oh, man.
Wow. I'll tell you what. I mean, for the race that this was, you have to expect to finish like that. And I think we had 3 or 4 separate incidents on the last lap alone. A race that, for the whole first half, Joe, was completely green. Unbelievable. And what a finish. Jack Healy with a phenomenal comeback, too, from, I think, multiple laps down even, to come away with the victory tonight. That's Talladega at its finest, Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get the results here in just a second, Tommy, because I wasn't able to grab the exact results of this race, but holy cow, what a finish here at Talladega for the United States Online Racing League. We're going to interview our top 3 finishers here tonight. We're also going to, I believe our Dash for Cash drivers weren't inside that top 3, or one of them wasn't, so we'll also interview that Dash for Cash winner, whoever they may be. Get that for you in just a second as we get results, Tommy. But do you want to, I don't know, do we start with our winner tonight?
I think we're going to start with fan favorite Huang Do. I believe I have your Dash for Cash results here as well, Joe. I know who the top 2 are. One of them, of course, is second place finisher Darren Ingram. And then your second in the Dash for Cash, making their money back, is the number 1 car of Zach Kostowski. How about that?
Love to see it. Love to see guys winning that extra cheddar on the side, Tommy. Couldn't win the race and lock themselves into the play use, but I think the little bit of the cash is going to definitely lighten that disappointment here tonight at Talladega.
Well, all right. We know he's a fan favorite here on the JoeTow Network and in the NR 2003 sphere in general. Let's bring our third place driver, Huang Do. And here he is, third place in the race, perhaps first in your heart. Out in the chat, congratulations on a top 5 finish, Huang, and the interview. Boy, it looks like one that just got away from you. Take us through those last couple laps and that final restart.
Well, I didn't ask for this. Anyways, I don't even know. I went, let's see, final lap, I believe. No, wait. It was when Darren went low, and I thought everyone was going to follow him, and so that's why I went low and never noticed that he was the only one that went low, and everyone on the outside just freight trained by. That's how I lost that lead.
Well, regardless, you were able to make it through a very distraught last lap, I should say. Cars ended up everywhere, and you came out of it a third place finisher. A great finish for you. Is there anyone you want to thank while you're here?
No.
All right, Huang Do, everybody, a man of a few words, but a lot of miles an hour on the speedometer. Huang, thank you for coming up to the booth. Congratulations on your third place finish as well. Good points day for you and that 54 crew.
Thank you.
Just the heartbreak there, Tommy, from Huang Do after looking like he had that race in the bag. I think that goes back to the respect these guys have for our second place finisher, Darren Ingram, as we get ready to bring him into the booth. I think that's what it is, Tommy. Because you heard him say he saw Darren go low, so he's like, okay, I got to go low, right?
Right.
And
it's hard, especially because you don't have, like in real life, a live spotter. You know what I mean? And alerting you to where the energy is, what line is going where. That's just one of the tough parts about sim racing that you have to deal with.
For sure, and especially with not having the ability to have a human spotter here in NR 2003. You see the results now populating your screen here. Tommy, do you want to bring in our second place finisher?
Sure thing, and here he is. Not only the second place finisher tonight, but also your Dash for Cash champion. It's the 23 car, Darren Ingram. Darren, congratulations on the $45 main prize.
Thank you. I'd rather have the win, though. I'd rather have the trophy.
But don't let the viewers at home don't fret. If he had the trophy, he'd also still have the $45. So he knows what he's saying.
Oh man,
Darren, we saw. I always I gush over the way you attack these super speedways because it's your style, right? You're one of the more aggressive guys out there, and that's a good thing, especially here at these super speedways when there's a lot of guys early on in the race that are timid. Take us through that kind of feeling the race out and trying to, you led a lot of laps here tonight too, feeling the race out and trying to get in your groove.
I mean, my thing at plate tracks is I feel like if you get stuck in the middle, that's where you run the highest risk of getting in a wreck. So I like to be up front. So I do whatever I can to get up front. I make some bold moves. I stick my nose in places where it doesn't belong sometimes, and I find that most of the time it works out for me.
Well, certainly tonight, I mean, one spot away from a win. Hard to get there, of course, when things shook out behind you. Didn't have a huge line at the end there because everybody wrecked, but hey, congratulations nonetheless on the Dash for Cash victory and a good points day as well for that 23 team. You're always good at Talladega, Darren. I'm not surprised to be talking to you. Is there anyone you want to thank while you have this opportunity?
Of course, got the National Civil Rights Museum on the car today, FedEx, TRD, Menards, all those guys, Red Bull, DoorDash, they keep us going every week. TWB, of course, they do everything and just everything for us. Fantastic. So we'll go back out there, and I don't know what race is next. I think Chicago, maybe.
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
You like that track too. You almost won that one last time we were out.
Yeah, don't remind me. In the Final Four. I'm tired of finishing second in these races, Joe.
I know, Darren. But hey, second place is good. They're good. They're good because they show you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. Dominate.
We needed the points day. It's been a pretty terrible season so far. So I think this is my second place finish of the season, actually.
Hey, that's more than I have.
Hey, why don't you got to suit up sometimes?
My suit don't fit anymore. But continue on thanking all your sponsors. I'm sorry I interrupted.
I think I got everybody. National Civil Rights Museum, TRD, Menards, TWB, DoorDash, Cash App, Red Bull. I think that's everybody.
Well,
Mommy, are you watching? Love you, Mommy.
Well, Darren, thank you so much. Nice. Thank you so much for taking the time. You're always a great guy to have up here in the booth. And good luck next week at Charlotte. Go one more position. You got it. Nice,
hey, I'm
easy.
Going for it. Sending it.
Go get it. Go get it. We know you will.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Darren Ingram, driver, the number 23 National Civil Rights Museum Toyota Camry. Second place finish tonight, $45 richer. Tommy, and that's you love to see it.
He made more money from this race than our winner, who we're about to bring in, but he does bring home the trophy and a lock-in to the USORL Red Bull Cup Series playoffs. Here he is. Expect this to be quite the interview. Winning on the same day as the Bills won their first playoff game in 25 years.
Yeah.
It's your winner tonight from Talladega, Dublin, California's own Jack Healy.
Shut up. I am not from Dublin, excuse you. You idiot.
Whoa.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm feeling pure euphoria right now. You have no idea.
Well, it was a big day for you off of the racetrack as well, of course, as a fellow Buffalo Bills fan. Tonight, you rebounded from being at a point in the race you weren't even on the lead lap, and you came back to win.
I was 2 laps down at one point. Yeah, I started the race and I had something wrong with my pedals and they were like sticking, and so I had to pit at the start, and I was cruising around 2 laps or a lap down for like 70% of the race. And then I got some lucky cautions and got my lucky placement and got the lucky dog. Pretty lucky, to say the least. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Joe, we talked about it in the broadcast. I mean, we mentioned right off the get-go that Jack Healy was down pit road early with a little bit of an issue there. And we said, hey, it's Talladega. If you're going to have that issue early, might as well be this track. And Jack, you did it. You came back and you won this race. You were locked in to the US Red Bull Cup Series playoffs.
That I don't have to be here every Saturday. It's nice to relax every Saturday. You know, drink some water by yourself while crying.
Oh.
Happiness, I assume.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, I choked. Excuse me, I just choked on water. Yeah. I did something.
This just shows how exhausted these guys are mentally and physically at the end of these long races, I'll tell you. Just like watching Bobby Hamilton win in 2001. I mean, this guy is exhausted out here.
Well, Tommy, you talked about that. I mean, look at him. He's just he looks worn down, but I've never seen a bigger smile on a guy's face after winning at Talladega than Mr. Jack Healy. But
are you outside my window or something?
No, never.
See me? Well, excuse me.
Well, are you smiling?
No.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I was, yeah.
Well, now you're not.
No, yeah, because I'm terrified of you, Joe.
I was just assuming.
Frankly, I thought you were outside my window.
Oh, no.
Just staring at me.
You know how expensive that would be? Get a plane ticket out there? Wolf.
That is a good point, yeah.
Nice. Tommy might be outside your window with the camera.
That is a good point, yeah. Tommy might actually be out there.
I think I'm in the wrong town. I couldn't find him. Moving on, Jack. Anyone you want to thank while you're up here in the booth?
I want to thank my parents because they conceived me and I'm here. I want to thank Ray being my team owner. I want to thank my teammates for being teammates. And And I wanna thank the Buffalo Bills for not making me wanna cry myself to sleep. And that's all I got. Oh,
I
and
can
my
certainly
yeah,
do that.
yeah. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool night for me, or day for
Well, you're pretty cool as well, and you're going to get a
me.
really
Yeah,
pretty cool trophy
yeah.
you're going home with. So congratulations once again, Jack Healy, winner tonight at Talladega.
Big win. Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Ah.
Oh, wait. Oh, no.
I just moved myself out of the room.
Hey,
I'm
Discord
back now.
issues.
Well, you heard it there. I mean, what a great day for Jack Healy, for Buffalo Bills fans everywhere. I know a big day in that regard, and he gets to cap off the night with a win. Wonderful day for the 77 crew.
Just a wonderful day overall for the USORL. I mean, these guys, they put on a show, they got on a stage, and they did big numbers, Tommy. And remember, if you want to find out more about the USORL, check out the link in the description below to find out more about their SMS page. You can also follow on Twitter at USORL_racing. But Tommy, I mean, just a fantastic race today, a fantastic audience, and guys, when you show up like you did tonight, it makes this so much more fun, so much more rewarding for us up here in the booth. And I mean, heck, we got to see a great race on top of it.
Really great support from everyone tonight. I appreciate everyone out there. We did hit, see right now, 51 likes from Matt Steelman. Thank you so much for that support. I mean, this was a great night. We're almost at 400 subscribers, Joe, too. Wonderful night up in the booth. A great race to broadcast, and as always, a pleasure to broadcast it alongside Joe Towanski, the one and only.
I appreciate you, Tommy, and always a pleasure to have you up here in the booth with me. And enjoy your day off on Sunday as Ricky and I head up to Michigan, JTN's home, for tomorrow night's running of the Hobo Racing NXS 20 series from the Michigan International Speedway. That coverage will start at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the JoeTowNetwork. You can set a reminder by... Good.
Just hit 400 subs, Joe.
Let's go. You boys are...
All right.
You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Only just right there. Because we did it live. You guys are the freaking best. Holy cannolis. I never thought we'd get here. And thank you so much for the support. Wow. I'm at a loss for words once again here tonight. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'll probably ramble on for like 4 more minutes here at the end of this. I'm not very good at closing and saying goodbye, but join us tomorrow night. It's going to be another fun time. If you enjoyed hearing Ricky last night, you'll enjoy hearing him again tomorrow. Michigan always puts on a great show, especially with Hobo Racing. You saw it in our intro, actually, here on JTN. And those guys, they'd really like to see you supporting them, coming out, checking out the broadcast tomorrow night, putting up great numbers again. Starts a little bit earlier, too. Again, I know it's a Sunday night, so a lot of people work in school, but you can always check out the replays right here on the JTN YouTube page. They'll go live right after. It takes YouTube a little while to process them into HD, but they'll be available in standard definition, so they might be a little pixely, a little blurry for a couple hours after the broadcast, but it's always a fun time, and I hope you guys are coming here for the commentary. But Tommy, again, thank you so much for joining me up here. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Sharky Uno, I'm going to give you a shout out because I thought you were live and vocal in the chat tonight. John Gambit, John Peterson, I saw you in there. So play cool EAS, and I'm sure there's a lot of other guys in the chat that I'm forgetting to mention. But thank you guys for tuning in. Spadafora, we're going to see him tomorrow night racing, but thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you so much. You make this really fun for us, and we can't wait to continue to give you guys this great racing content. Hit the subscribe button, hit like on the video. So long for now. For Bristol, our producer, for Tommy Bordeaux, I've been Joe Towanski. Spread peace, love, and happiness to all those that cross your path, and we will see you guys next time right here on JT. And so long for now, folks.